Potential. You've worked with him before.
Yeah. Things didn't exactly work out at first, just when we came into the league. So he ended up going to GE. It's a player I was always wanted to have on the roster, but it just didn't work out at that time. And then, of course, we were interested at the end of last year. Then he ended up going to PaperX, and things happened, and things kind of fell into place for us. So I'm really glad for the reunion. It's good to have, really good to have him back. And the nice part is I can really see from him there's been growth as well. I felt like there's been a lot of growth from his side, and improvement from when I started working with him in that year, or a little bit less than a year, and there's been even further improvement, which is amazing to see. From a young player, he keeps learning under different coaches now, and he's like an experienced player in our team now.
I mean, I'm just gonna ask you straight up: is he playing smokes?
I think you'll have to wait and see. It's going to be
come
real
on,
soon.
man.
I think you might be a little bit surprised.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So.
Okay.
All right.
Is he? Never mind. I'll wait. I'll wait. I
This
think
is a little tiny guy.
I'm picking up what you're laying down, and I think I like it. So we'll see if it gets confirmed later.
I'm excited to see that too. So you were talking about how he's been improving as a player when he was shifting through all of these teams. Is that him as a player or as a teammate when you've kind of gone into the scrims with him before you go into this match?
Definitely both. He's someone that's now a lot more level-headed, I would say. He's someone that tend to, in-game, individual performance, used to overheat a lot when I first joined, and that's something that he worked a lot on. And you might still see it sometimes, but it's also, he definitely knows now when is the right time, when is the wrong time. Even if he made a mistake, he knows what the mistake was. And I see him now sometimes in scrims, he's the one saying, all right, guys, it's fine. Like we can do this. Like taking a little bit of a leadership. So it's absolutely great to see.
Without going into the details, I'm curious because we saw the swapping of roles between Elmingmore and Xfaro, and I'm curious with Monyet coming through, was it also fairly player driven to figure out what his identity in the team was going to be, or was it hey, we're bringing you in because we want you to do this? What was it like?
No, it's very much like the first one you said. All of our compositions, it's a lot of team discussion. I don't really believe in forcing players onto agents that they're not comfortable with, and I have a strong idea this is how we need to play. I don't think that's the way, personally, how to play. So we'll test out a couple of different things, and we'll ask, are you comfortable to try this, or what do you want to play? And let's make it into a composition, whether it be something that's already been played or something that hasn't been played before. So everything, we try to have them as comfort roles as possible. And that might be swapping between roles on certain maps, to suit kind of the different playstyle and how we understand the map.
You'll be facing off DFM, for stage 2 to kick it off. Any thoughts on DFM?
I think I just overheard you guys talking like after they beat T1, they almost in a way were seen overhyped at the time because there were more was expected from them. But I feel like at this point they're quite underrated because if you do look at their past games, there's a lot of 2-1s in there. They're taking off a lot of maps from good teams, and I felt like they could have capitalized off some of those a little bit better. I hope we're not that team that they capitalize off today, but I think a lot of props should go to them because there's been a lot of gradual improvement that's being made. We have respect for them, but we're going to be playing our game, and we hope it stays that way for them.
Now we do have an audience question for you guys at home watching. You can ask the most questions. Just go to VCT Pacific Twitter or X. And the question for you today is, we actually have 2 questions. Will we see some role changes in certain maps for stage 2?
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely going to be some changes. We had enough off time, we felt like, to be able to make changes. But the ones that are super set, if you are not willing to change your role, or if you are not comfortable in changing your role, you won't. So you'll see the guys that are in different roles that are comfortable playing what they're playing.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. We were talking about it earlier today too, how important it is for each player to be able to, flex in their roles and just not stick with their one role. Do you very much believe in this mentality, or you think that it's okay for players to specialize?
I think there's merit in both. I think some teams have definitely showed, for example, if I think back Loud, like where they just played almost the same comp on every map with slight changes, and you just played pretty much the same agent. There's definitely benefit to that. That is something that we had a long conversation about when Monyet just joined. Is it a possibility for us to do something similar to keep it as consistent as possible? And we ended up a little bit more straying away from that and going more on comfortable per map, and not necessarily just the same comp.
And to close it off, I've been asking the coaches this because, you know, we're nearing the end of the season already before we go into the champions. What do you want RQ to be known as, remembered by? What's the mark you want to leave on Pacific?
So last year it was quite the meme, and the power of friendship really. But it is something I truly believe in. With that said, I think there's a lot of connotations with like, oh, it's just friendship is going to help you win. No, that's not what we're saying. But what we're saying is it is possible to have fun while playing as well. And there's a lot of work that goes into that. And it's not just the friendship's going to carry you over the line.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a lot of things that I feel like go better inside of a team if you can make sure that team bonds well. And that's something that we try to show on stage. We try to show if you know anyone in the team. That's kind of what we try to show to the outside.
I would say you guys have done that successfully. You're definitely one of the warmest, friendliest teams, and you can see that vibe happening within your team. With that, we're going to send you off. I want to keep Ewok here like the whole time, but we can't do that. You need to coach it.
I can watch from here, yeah.
Yeah, you want to
Give us your insights on like
That'd
matches
be-
are going.
Just tap
We
the
can-
mic into the
Yeah, we can have
comms
a
system.
good
and
team timeout, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
that'd be great.
That could be fun. That's a new segment right there.
I like that. Yeah,
Ah.
production,
Just
you heard
don't
that?
smash this desk because we got some precious stuff on it. So.
See, there's a new desk.
Yeah.
A new desk?
Yeah, there's a new desk in the coaching room.
Uh-oh.
Is there?
I'm not sure if that is because of a particular someone, but this
Oh.
desk
Who could
does
that
seem
be?
a little bit sturdier. I'm not saying
Reinforced
anything.
steel.
Well, hope you enjoy that new desk, and thanks to coaches who have been testing it out, and hopefully you won't need to rage too much today. Well, all the best, Ewok, and yeah, give
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, best of
you.
luck.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Really cool insights.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't know, what are your thoughts on what you shared, including that Monyet might surprise us in terms of roles?
I was gonna say he's always very forthcoming, but there was some secrecy there, and I don't blame him because I think that they don't want to put everything out on display.
Yeah.
So that's why I think he didn't want to answer my question. But I feel like we're going to be seeing something new coming into this icebox. Maybe they also have that clove up their sleeve.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that Monyet is a really good player to have that because he has the sense as both a smokes player, but also
He was
as a
raised,
duelist.
yes.
So, like, that's that line that you want to toe if you're playing the club where you can go aggressive, but not overdo it, but still be able to reinforce your team, still be able to provide cover for them as well as yourself. I think that is kind of a match made in heaven for him. So if he comes out and he's going to be playing Clove, I think that's going to be excellent.
Yeah. I mean, probably even double duelist. Just saying, just pointing it out there.
That too.
The thing that really stood out to me when we were just interviewing Ewok was the discussion about DFM and how he thinks that they're how he feels that they are that underrated team, and actually it makes a lot of sense. I think that again, it just feels like they do have some issues that they are trying to work on, and there are some players that kind of pop off in this game and some players that don't. So we're just kind of looking to see if it can just all work together and not just like one at a time or one per game. And that's just, I think, where the weakness of DFM is at. So yeah.
I mean, I think for the sake of DFM, I do agree. I think that they have obviously looked a lot better, but I think that as far as like public perception is concerned, it's a little bit of a sins of the father type thing. That last season, that 0-10 record, kind of still hanging over their heads, even though it's basically a completely different team. It's only Anthem that's still here. So I think that they got that first victory. I think if we see a couple more, then people are definitely going to forget about everything that happened in 2023.
Yeah. I mean, these are the kind of upgrades that we want to see from all of the teams, DFM included. And yeah, I do think it was very interesting what he was saying. Like, you don't want to really underestimate any of these teams here. The same way we shouldn't be
Complacency kills.
Yeah, 100%. And for those of you watching at home, I want to remind you, Pacific, we are tuning in to chat. We are tuning in to Twitter and social media in general. We're taking questions. We're going to be featuring here the questions specifically for players. we'll be asking the players and we'll be showing it here. And we had some interesting ones. There's one asking like what deodorant Tetri uses. We're probably not gonna ask him that one, but interesting to know.
Well, he probably doesn't. 'Cause most Koreans, I mean, just kind of Asians in general,
There's a
just
gene.
don't really use.
There's a gene
Yeah.
apparently that
Just don't smell.
Koreans don't have body odor.
Just don't smell.
I don't know if that's true, but like I haven't smelled
I,
anything.
feel,
so-
I had to like import my deodorant for like the first 5 years of living here because I just couldn't. You just couldn't go into a store and like just find it.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. Maybe I do want to ask him now. Oh my god. I didn't think I would want to know. Your face right now.
I'm a
That's
newcomer
right.
to Korea, so I am new to this, so I don't know. I use, so.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is like maybe just a Korean thing.
No,
In the Philippines, they use deodorant. In America, they use
We have to.
deodorant.
It's such a humid country.
It is. Well,
yeah.
I don't know. I figure here it get a little sweaty sometimes on stage, depending on who you're playing against. Yeah, but this matchup, how are you guys feeling in terms of? Obviously, you predicted RQ. Most of us did, except for Quack. You know, if we had to give it a number in terms of like percentage, how are you feeling about it?
I'm actually thinking about it now. I'm a little bit more concerned for RQ because William predicted for them, and he's kind of been the curse for them.
That's true.
He said that he was going to stop doing it because they kept blaming him, but now he's back on the hype train, and this could be their undoing.
Oh. William is casting today, so maybe he can speak up for himself.
Yeah,
here.
he'll have to defend himself once
Yeah.
we get over to them.
Yeah. How about you, Asurai? In terms of confidence of an RQ and Asurai, the predictor, even though he has claimed he hasn't gotten some of the predictions right
No, not at
in a
all.
while.
Okay. I think they have Monyet, so I think he's gonna break that kind of curse. He feels like he has the lucky charm, you know, in that regard. But
Fair.
kind of looking into it, I usually base my predictions on like how I feel pound for pound the players are, and I feel like in terms of individualistic plays, RQ feels like they have that edge over DFM. For me, it's just as simple as that. I don't really have to explain too hard into it. I feel like Jemkin's just insane. Monyet showed how good he can be when he was with Paper X. So that's like players that, you know, integrated him well when he was GE, when he was kind of being put all over the place in terms of roles. So that being said, and then they also have his kind of camaraderie with Elmimore. They were teammates before when they were still playing in Indonesia, I think, for Onyx. So you have that synergy already. So he's not integrating long to come into RQ. So I feel like, yeah, RQ for me, for that.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a very fair point. Obviously, this is why we predicted for RQ. I do think what Ewok mentioned was finding that sweet spot for Monyet's experience level. You know, back then, Monyet was really young, really fresh to the roster, a lot of potential, but overheated. And not only did he get experience with Global, not only did he get experience with Paper X, he got to have international experience as well. And coming back with that, but still being a very young player, I think this is what is going to make RQ very powerful. It's the same thing with Jemkin. You know, he isn't really that fresh.
Yeah.
He is from Ascension, but he has enough experience now. And with all of this, I mean, this could be what helps bring RQ, you know, complete success here in Pacific. And, you know, it's been a long time coming. I know the Indonesian fan base has been waiting
Chomping at the bit.
for this. With that, I know you guys have been patiently waiting for our match to start, and we are going to be welcoming our players. I can't wait to see Monyet walk out in his
It's gonna
brand
be a
new
good feeling.
RQ jersey.
RRQ.
Undefeated. That's why they call me undisputed.
Detonation
I'm breaking
focus
up
me.
another season. I've been up on my stats. Now would you look at that? Undefeated, locked and loaded. We about to blow. Caught 'em with that left, I leave 'em tapped out on the floor. Sunny, itchy, sticky, swishy. Watch me bank a score. Up in the boat, I'm in the zone. Yeah, yeah. Put you to fire.
I love the Undefeated soundtrack, specifically made for VCT Pacific, but we're welcoming our two teams now, RRQ and DFM. Both of these teams have a lot to prove. They want to make it to playoffs. They want that championship points. They want their shot at the international stage.
They do, and I mean, honestly, if they're able to get it here with Monette joining the team, then, I mean, Ewok, he's allowed for other coaches to just basically do his dirty work. So then, yeah, go ahead, train this guy up, make him into an absolute monster that we know he can be, and then I'm going to take him and I'm going to use it to get myself over to the champion stage. What a story it would be. You know, just, I mean, both for RRQ as well as for Monette, because RRQ came into last year suspected to be maybe the bottom team globally. Ended up being not the case whatsoever. Contenders were favorites to even take the LCQ last year in Pacific. Obviously, didn't manage to make that happen. They come into this season, high expectations. Haven't quite been able to meet that here, but now with this final swap, is this the team that we thought that they were going to be? Is this going to be that squad that punches their way up into the top 4?
DFM on the flip side now, it's the same sentiments that we've heard from teams like T1, where this is like the final chance before, you know, next year kind of comes in. They have to get their everything straight right now. They had time during Shanghai to kind of just talk about things, restructure what's going to happen moving forward with the 5-man roster that they have. Again, they haven't really changed any of the players that they've had here. So they have faith, they have that synergy, they have that camaraderie already. Can it beat RRQ with the addition of Monette here in this series right now?
It is so important for DFM to win every single one of their matches this stage 2 if they want to even think about getting close to playoffs, getting close to champions at all. It's sort of like T1. It's a very tough situation, but you know what? We do need a Japan representative up there on stage at some point. We're going to go over our casters, jump into our first match of today. Take it away, Chobra and Valdez.
Hello, thank you, Deskers, for that wonderful breakdown of the pre-show. I'm Valdez, with me is Chobra once again, and we're going to be breaking down this first awesome match, RQ and DFM, first time here in Stage 2.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about this matchup, Chobra?
I'm very excited for multiple reasons. Obviously, a lot of people know that I've been excited about the RQ roster for a long time, but this is a whole new look, right? Obviously, at the beginning of the year, we had Jemkin coming in, Estrella joining, and now you've got Monette. So quite frankly, the core has changed, right? The majority of this team now no longer the same from last year, but the desk talked about why they're excited. Now DFM, I love that Coach Ewok brought that up. They have been fighting tooth and nail for a lot of these matches, and taking a look at the compositions right away. All right, the surprises that RQ talked about. No dual, you've got 2 duelist players, well technically 3 if you count Estrella, and you're going for no duelist. I'm down for that. I'm
what
honestly.
What does it mean?
Yeah, obviously we've seen no duelist comps in the history of Icebox here and there. For a while, it was quite the meta with a lot of the Sentinels back then with Chamber. But these days, we've seen a couple experimentations. Hasn't gone very well, but I do like that you're supplementing the Sova on top of the KO Gecko. That helps mitigate some of the Flood Util and then nothing to hold off on the site or nothing to go for the retakes and some of those problems. Whereas DFM, we actually haven't seen their Icebox this year, so we see that they're going to stick with the Viper Harbor 2 controller composition.
Yeah, it's just very interesting. I like that RQ, they come in, they show a lot of respect for Detonate's Focus Meet. They have kind of a new composition to bring into the first map. They want to start off Stage 2 with a bang, and definitely with some surprises, as Ewok was already talking about we would see over the course of this second stage. So definitely very excited to see how this is going to work out up against DFM, who in their own right definitely have some proving to do. I think RQ Stage 1 was pretty good. You know, they took that last match over Gen G. They finished 3-2. Whereas DFM, you know, starting with the 1-4, they have a lot of work to do to climb up if they want to make something happen.
Taking a look at the pistol rounds as well, of course. DFM, not exactly their strong suit so far, but we'll see if they can start to change that number coming in. See Ghost across the board, but then the 1 share for Medusa has that Killjoy on the attack here, favoring a lot more the firepower as they might be looking to stick together. Maybe he'll have to win a couple 1v1s on the lurk on the A side as well.
Let's see what this is going to look like for DFM starting out on the attack. It does look like they are edging over towards the B site at the moment, and sending the Killjoy by herself over at A.
Yeah, already very deep for Medusa, so he could immediately start to go get information on A if he ever so needs. But the dash being used by DFM, so it's a pretty big commitment to the P site with the toxic screen up. They want to supplement it with the high tide, make sure that you have full time. And look at this, they're already concerned about the absolute slew of utility that might be flying out from RQ, trying to bait that out with the fake.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to deal with. Nat did take a little bit of damage there from the shock dart, but this is going to have to come down to a retake as the wall already going to be thrown forward. And a flash over the top.
Oh, the double flash is a timing a little bit missed here by RQ. They just have to go in and win these fights dry, and it's not working out for them.
Yeah, not looking good so far. Estrella is going to be the one guy to get it done, but Anthem is holding it down. Money and Sparrow do get a couple apiece, but now a lot of time bought here. And still a couple of members left for Medusa. It's all up to Monyet here, back on the roster in the first round. And he's just going to have to try to hold it. It's not going to happen. Success does shut that down. And as you mentioned, that retake, not the cleanest thing we've ever seen.
Yeah, it looks like there was a bit of a rush on the flashes as they see the cascade coming out from the harbor, and they wanted to try to capitalize on it, make sure that DFM's not pushing right behind it. But that meant that they had to start peeking dry without any utility. DFM, the positioning, very, very good. Crossfires all throughout, and always having a backup plan, a good pistol round to bring up that pistol win rate. As we now see 4 rifles purchased by DFM. They're kicking off the snowball strong here.
Yeah, they're gonna start off with a lot of momentum in this one. A relatively clean first round, and now it does look like they want to hit onto A, as they do have some of the longer range angles here. Killjoy up top. Let's see what this entry does look like.
Yeah, it is going to be an accurate stack from RQ, but May with the opening kill opens things up.
Yeah, he's in here on the jet, trying to enter. He's going to get that first kill. Medusa going to push through the wall. He does immediately go down to one click from Jemkin, but May is still not cleared out on the top here as May picks up a 3K, making it 4, and he's going to not pick up the ace after all of that here in the anti-eco, but actually RQ making this relatively close, given the firepower advantage that did go the way of DFM. But it is still looking pretty good for DFM here, as they will get the kill and the plant.
Yeah, so like you said, costly for sure. We mentioned the 4 rifles being purchased up by DFM. It is a lot of value lost, but you still carry over 2 rifles and picking up the Vandal as an upgrade on the Bulldog. So firepower-wise, the bonus is still going to be a pretty strong bonus round. But May really proving that he has been putting up the numbers through and through. And let's not forget, May and Jemkin, they used to go at it against each other back in Challengers Japan last year. Now they're meeting each other on the big stage. Back then, Jemkin was absolutely the talk of the town over in the Challenger scene. But May now trying to prove that he earns a spot at that discussion here in VCT Pacific.
I mean, the guy has always been a very strong talent. As they were saying, even on the analyst desk, it's, you know, we know what he can do. It's more so about the team supporting him as well in terms of utilizing that utility and getting him in onto the right spots at the right time. As speaking of which, he's going to be pushing right down the middle here, as they do look towards B at this point in time. Monyet down to 5 health, but Estrella not cleared out, and Jemkin is there as well. 3 headshots in a row, and this push is shut down heavily.
Yeah, if this ends up being a flawless, RQ have a great opening to get back in, and it will be, because now you're 1 point away from the thrash for Jemkin as well. Of course, we talked about the triple initiator. We should note that it is Jemkin picking up the Gecko, trying to follow up in something's footsteps. It seems the Russian duel is switching over to the Geckos across different maps. We'll see how good his util usage continues to be. But as much as the round itself doesn't go well at all for DFM, I like that they say, okay, it's a bonus. Let's throw something else out there. Let's throw a little bit of conditioning, a bit of a curveball to make sure that they have to continue to invest into that middle part of the map so we can have a bit of an easier time in the sites in the coming rounds.
So what Jemkin was able to do there on the timing, just pushing in behind them. They did not expect that at all. And it really took the wind out of the sails of that push. So, as you mentioned, trying something a bit sneaky there on the bonus. But now, does have the blades out here for May. We'll see if he can get something big on the A site once again, as he did in that anti-eco. But for now, just going to take this one slow.
And just look at how liberal RQ can afford to be with their util to combat for space here on the A side. I mean, you're dumping so much, and you still have a flash drive. You still got a shock dart. Of course, you still have the mosh as well for anything like a retake or just to delay if the timer starts to run out. And that's going to be something that DFM really has to figure out what they want to do, right? It's another initiator that you're not used to playing against. Sure, there's no duelist on the other side, but the concern right now is DFM, they're the ones who have to break through. Now starting to re-clear space, but the Cascade and the drone gives it up pretty clearly. So RQ shifting to a 2-1-2 default.
Yeah, that they will. This drone is going to see a couple of them
Ada 2 orang.
outside of A from the defensive side, and May is just kind of peeking his head in here, seeing what he can see. Meanwhile, Anthem trying to poke out on B, but he's the only one over there at this point in time. 23 seconds, as they will be able to get this plant down. It does look like RQ will look for the retake.
Yes, just saving up the shock dart and the Masha as well. Recon online, so everything there for the retake. And Xfero's good for 2 on the flank.
Yeah, Xfero, huge value there. Medusa finally able to take him down, but this is going to make this a pretty even spot. As looking for the defuse now. There it goes. Jemkin going to throw that down. Anthem has the angle. Ellie Moore, though, he's controlling this area, and Estrella is also able to stop them from getting in. Anthem does trade one back, but this is still going to be around over to RRQ. You do see that Anthem does barely get away there.
Seems like DFM maybe was a bit too concerned about staying calm here in the post plan. I mean, yeah, it goes down to a 3v3. Yes, Xfero catches you off guard, so you have to start to regroup far back, try to rely on the lineups. But let's say it wasn't Wingman, let's say it was a member there. It's still a lot of time wasted. The half was absolutely guaranteed by RRQ. And while I appreciate the fact that DFM's not panicking, it is something they're going to have to revisit, and especially, of course, considering that the Wingman is a factor, right? It's still going to be a 3v3 firefight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as you mentioned, maybe just a little bit flustered there, a little bit caught off guard, but DFM definitely still in this one. Only 2 rifles in this round, though. We'll see where they do go with this. As the wall is up, they are pushing in towards B.
Sorry.
Just waiting at yellow to see if anyone is going to poke their head out.
Oh, the Thrash being used early just to try to buy some time. Worst case, you try to recover it in the process of a retake. Draws out the Reckoning as well, so ult for ult, but you still got no command on the side of RRQ.
Yeah, that you do. Anthem, though, pushing out here, able to get that first kill. And now it's just kind of on the run. They are going to get this plant down, look to defend it. As there it is, but Xfero up top, he is going to pick up one, and May's going to win that long-range fight now. The defensive lockdown here from the side of RRQ. And we'll look to potentially stop this from happening, and they are just going to try to rotate out of here entirely and move over to A.
Yeah, a bit of a miss on the fragment as well, so now they have to take out Anthem before they go for the rotate, because otherwise they will leave their backs open. And this is an absolute pain point for RRQ. It's a good flash, but that's a flash drive invested. So not exactly an ideal scenario, especially considering that this was not a full buy round for DFM. They've already drawn out all the ultimates on the side of RRQ. I would say that's a victory in and of its own. But if they get more kills here, it's going to be bad for RRQ.
Yeah, May, just absolutely fantastic timing there, knowing exactly that one guy would just be out there rotating in, and now Medusa with the quick headshot with the Sheriff, and you see that Jemkin's saying, well, I don't think I've got a chance here, and he might just look to back out of this one.
Yeah, you gotta not only save your rifle, obviously your creds are fine, but you don't want to give away the ult points, you don't want to give away the upgrades. Already pings coming in on the rifles that would have been dropped. So it does look like DFM will have quite a few.
He's looking to potentially take this against Nat. He is going to take him down. And so he does deny potentially one of those rifles that was picked up. May thinking about it, but yeah, he's just going to play it safe. So that will be round over to the side of DFM. They push into B, get some nice trades. Even bringing the 3 Sheriffs into that round and still able to pick up the win.
Yeah, and it's great to see that it's not just May hitting some of these crucial impact shots, right? In that round, we have Medusa picking one up with the Sheriff as well. Anthem doing a great job buying time over by Yellow, kind of sacrificing himself behind that container. So this is good news for DFM, and already we're seeing the impact of that bonus round that they had pushing mid. So much effort in the past 2 rounds has been spent by RQ, putting you till they're having someone to try to play off of it, and now finally RQ make the call to leave that weaker and start to stack one side or the other.
And they do have a bit of a stack over towards the B site at the moment. They have left their Killjoy Xfero there in the middle of the map, and it is just more over here at A. As now, going to throw out the Hunter's Fury, see if he can get onto the back of the site, and DFM should be able to do exactly that. There's not a lot of pressure, and May's just up top here. They do not even check it. xFaro just going to go down just like that.
Yeah, an absolute wild card position off of that dash, but for now, it's a quick retake coming in from RRQ. The attacker lockdown has to be used to try to fend this off. There is a fragment, but can you throw it in time? He's already there to try to block it too, Medusa. So forces them to have to back off and give the spike plant.
Yeah, spike plant will come down, but a very nice shock dart as well, trying to pressure on Anthem here, trying to punish, but now Anthem's still up top. Are they gonna check this one? The timing is pretty good. The shots are good as well, but Elmimore and Jemkin do trade one apiece. Anthem's still alive on 17 health. And it is a straight up 2v2, a little bit low health for Anthem, but that was insane. He's able to peek the corner. Can he pick up a 4K? He's not going to be able to. Monyet in a 1v1 against May, and he has no idea where May is, and that is a 4th round over to the side of DFM.
What an absolute nasty shot from Anthem. I mean, I was just about to think in my head, he's already buying time again. He's playing so well for the team. That's all he needs to do with 17 HP. But he just gets it on a swing, jiggling right back into the wall. And like you said, Valdez, all these members of DFM staying up top above. That's disgusting. They're using the map to their advantage. That's one of the things that makes Icebox a little bit annoying is there's a lot of verticality. And RQ, they've been counting it out, and it's leading to a couple round losses.
Yeah, absolutely. RQ definitely struggling a bit. They're going to have to figure out something there. I did like that fast attempt at a retake, but the attackers' lockdown had actually worked out pretty well for DFM to get the plant down. As now Monyet going to be spotted out here, as they do look to pressure towards the B site.
DFM's got a good read. They realize Monyet just walked back, so they're expecting that there's backup here on the side of green, and there is. But the trade, it's not going to come through. Neth is good for 2.
Yeah, Neth, pretty insane. Couple of headshots. And you saw that the guys on RQ not quite able to hit their shots. Medusa is just waiting for this rotation to come out, and xFaro, oh no. That's just a free kill as well. It's DFM. We're just stacking them up here. Nice shot from Elmimore.
Down, B.
But you know, not the easiest defense here, but that's another one going the way of Elmimore, making things interesting. Looking at pressure, trying to get on top of Anthem here, who has been insane. He calms down, hits the head, and gets another one, but the shock dart will take him down as the rotation is coming back towards A, as we do see.
What did Anthem do in between the two stages? I mean, he's doing like a really calm, slow, wide swing against Jemkin and absolutely outplaying him in that 1v2. Elmimore sees one. They haven't spotted him yet.
Oh, that's huge. It's already 4, but Medusa is going to be able to take him down. Elmimore not expecting that extra pressure to come in that quickly. So DFM 5 now on the board.
It has to be a
timeout. Round 7.
Has to be a timeout from RQ. Yeah, the timer stopped because here's one of the worst feelings has to be that you bring an absolute info-heavy composition and you just get run laps around on the map, right? I mean, you're counting things out, you're making assumptions while you have the triple initiator. It doesn't feel good, so I imagine that Ewok's going to have to calm his players down, maybe remind them of a couple habits that he's seeing from both teams, but also credit where credit is due. DFM is using this composition against RQ very well. They're forcing them to actually use the util very early. They force them to invest a member and some of the killjoy util early and mid in the beginning couple of rounds. So playing a very big macro game, focusing on the strengths that DFM have prepared themselves here on the Icebox.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like what DFM are bringing to the table so far, and RQ definitely showing something new, but perhaps, you know, I assume they have practiced it a lot leading up into this and scrims and stuff, but playing it on stage potentially for the first time, just trying to get used to this kind of style of play, and it is not quite working out as they had practiced. So we'll see how it does go here after the timeout. You saw the post-timeout win rate at 35%.
Not great, but not the lowest we've seen either, so we'll see how much impact Ewok can have. It is a bye round for RQ, and you've got ult online, so you imagine that this is one of those rounds you should be winning off of the timeout. Already, just the 2 initiators trying to vie for Pipes control. Get that ult orb as well, build towards the Thrash. You already have 2 other valuable ones in the Pit and the Hunter's Fury.
He's just able to walk up and take that one down. May just slowly creeping forward. This is happening while Elmimore is also in, and Elmimore is just going to be caught totally off guard. Not even going to check it as May had just snuck into that little corner. And that's going to bring DFM to the advantage here in this round.
Yeah, now on the B side, they feel like they now need to push out, but it's another crossfire. I don't think RQ is going to be expecting this at all.
No, they were not, as Anthem is going to take that one down. Monnet looking to try to push out here, and oh, he's not. Well, he does take down Anthem, but he immediately gets traded back. And obviously DFM 4-2 in terms of players right now, and they have a free push towards A at this point in time, so they will just go for that.
I hate to call him out on it, but Coach Ewok was the one who said he thinks a lot of people are underestimating DFM. I'm going to be honest, RQ players look like they're underestimating DFM a little bit here, not making assumptions about the possible double teams, not making assumptions about the possible crossfires.
30 seconds.
And right now, DFM look as calm as ever as they look to try to go to another 6th round win.
Last player standing.
And you see trying to take some long trades here. It does go 1-for-1 once again. Jemkin still outside the back of the site, and 1v3, he is going to back away from this one and give it over to DFM. But yeah, like you mentioned, Anthem is looking great to start off this map, and you asked, what did they do in preparation for Stage 2? What changed? And it does look like DFM have come in with a new fire for Stage 2, as they're looking quite fantastic to start off Icebox.
Yeah, because you can talk about the strats, etc., everything, but RQ was also one of those teams where regardless of win or lose, you had a couple players that were always good for a couple kills, right? Elmimore here on this Icebox had some nasty games in Stage 1. Jemkin, of course, quietly always putting up incredible numbers across all of their matches. I mean, Monnet, despite some of the chemistry that they were still working on back when he was on Paper X, was really finding his groove when they were at Masters Madrid. I mean, these are some high-caliber players on the side of RQ, so DFM have come with the utmost preparation to make sure they're not getting pushed around both on the map as a macro level, but also individually at a micro level.
And you see the way some of these trades did go. DFM just kind of expecting it. And little nice there from May. Things going swimmingly. They take a very dominant round after the RRQ timeout, so that's always going to feel fantastic. Here on the attacker side of Icebox, already at 6-2. So DFM looking to continue with their streak here. We do have RQ in a position where they can still buy rifles, and they have pretty much bought up. A has gone for the judge here.
I think one thing that's probably throwing RQ off a bit is that DFM's starting default has not stayed consistent at all, right? Sometimes they're dumping util to push the enemy off of pipes. Sometimes they leave A open, allow for RQ to aggress. So DFM definitely staying a step ahead in the reads.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of variety for sure in terms of what they have shown. Did see some poking out through mid here as the orb falls. Oh, that was sick from Xfero. Very quick flick. He is going to take down Medusa.
And that's a big one because that's the tail end. Now they can't watch their flank anymore. You imagine that DFM will have to stay grouped. It's either that or they go in with even lower numbers as they leave someone like Cess to maybe watch the back. So RQ will now say, we'll just make sure that we're holding on to backside. We know that we have the numbers advantage. We just want info on the B side and keep the map control.
We're going to go for a similar entry with the Hunter's Fury just to clear out some of the corners. Looks like it did a little bit of damage. May as well is going to get one, but immediately gets taken out by Jemkin as the pressure onto the back of the site, and Elmimore is going to get his own Hunter's Fury kill. This push has been pretty much shut down as you do see Cess going for the plants here. Takes a bit of damage, but Anthem is able to defend him for now, but the shock dart and Monnet peeking. It's all up to Anthem in the 1v1, and Monet's going to hit the headshot and bring RRQ back onto the board.
But it took so much for RRQ. Anthem, he's the only remaining player from the DFM squad last year, and there were several times even last year when we talked about Anthem, doing his best, making the calls as he transitions to that IGL role. He was hitting some good shots, but this is a whole different level, really leading by example, and you can tell it's having a great impact on the rest of the team staying calm. It all starts with Xfero with a nasty flick. Oh, man, you could tell. That's one of those flicks where it's always in the back of his mind, right? He's just waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, no, he was ready. He reacted extremely quickly, and he did not miss. And you saw that Monnet pretty critical there towards the end, also hitting his shots in what could have been a really precarious situation. I mean, they really needed that round, RRQ did. But let's see how it's going to go. As now May is getting a bit aggressive, trying to peek onto this one, but flash drive over the top. May still hanging around. He's going to push right down the middle and he's just going to peek this one. He is not to be stopped. He's got some support from his team as well.
Oh, Xfero's up top. That's going to be a hard position to read, but Ned, is he checking for it? No.
Oh,
Gets routed.
Yeah, just get traded back by Anthem, who did push in towards A. So just through mid and through A, they are able to get onto the site, but Elmimore, this is very sharp angle, and he gets another one through the wall. Kind of insane how he's able to shut this one down just by himself. So now DFM in a little bit of a scramble, not expecting the third guy to be in that corner. As May's still here, still trying to poke down the plants, but he is going to go up top of Medusa. They have a bit of a crossfire. Let's see if May can get this 1v2 here. As Estrella is looking this direction, he's going to drop down, and there it is. Estrella easily able to clean up that one. So RRQ able to link 2 rounds in a row.
I was scared there for a second when both members of DFM were looking to go up top again. RRQ, they've been taken out in that position before, but 2 very hard-fought wins, but round wins nonetheless, something that RRQ desperately needed, having only had 2 in the very beginning of this half. And Elmimore following suit after Xfero, bringing back some of that crispy aim to make sure that RQ can stay in the fight. But overall, once again, DFM, they say, all right, it's time to bring out another curveball. Let's do a hard hit onto mid. And overall, the control was very good, right? They pushed RQ far out. They isolated one guy on A. It was a very, very good start to the round for DFM.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And credit to RQ for being able to shut that down. DFM always bringing a new look every time. And this time does look just to be 5 members pushing in through the front door of A. And I think this worked very early on in this map. It is going to get the pit down here on the defensive end. Monyet going to throw that down already on the A side. But they are looking to peek here. Xfero outside the pit is going to get this first kill.
Yeah, and you saw that, and that was a spike as well. So you know that DFM now a little bit stuck. Xfero just looking to buy time. It's going to be the lockdown to counter out the enemy's Viper's Pit as well. All ultimates going out in this round.
Yeah, we got pits, we got a lockdown. We are fully committing into this one. The lockdown is going to push them out, though, as you mentioned. On the counter, Xfero, though, is going to push out and try to catch them with their backs turned. He is going to be traded back by May.
This is the spike recovered by DFM as well. So RQ not getting as much value as he originally would have hoped. And once again up top, RQ, you got to start looking up.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, May is just swinging on the vine into the site and just not expecting that at all. It is going to still be a 3v3 situation, as this pit is still up for Monyet. Estrella still able to hold this corner now. As, yeah, Temkin able to come in and help the cleanup, and now it's all up to Medusa. Has a lot of pressure on him. In 7 seconds, he gets 2, and he's going to hold the plant here, and he gets a third one! He's able to clutch it out in an insane manner. Medusa, what has gotten into this guy?
That double swing was so clean, too, from RQ. The high-low, it's not like they were off tempo or anything.
Yeah.
But Medusa just has full faith that he's going to hit the first shot, transfers it right over. TFM, whatever their training regimen has been in between the stages, everyone's got to pick that up. I mean, look at this. Sure, it's an op, and he misses, which, by the way, a rare sight for Jemkin, but the reaction there off of the plan as well.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
He looked very satisfied with that one. You saw the little smirk he had. I mean, how could you not be satisfied? And that's going to deal a mental blow as well to RRQ. I mean, that's a round they should have had. 3 versus 1 at the very end, and Medusa just shuts them down. So DFM now 7-4, and they're going to open up with the first kill here onto Monyet. As they do look to pressure on in, Xfero is able to take this long trade, and that's the spike down as well.
So now you know that DFM will have to reposition. You still have the turret and the alarm bot to watch mid. So RQ, given that it's a 4v4 and the weaker weapons on Elmimore, they're going to start to try to group up. Xfero just hiding out by screens to make sure he can make use of his nanoswarms, maybe do a little chip damage. At least make sure that you're holding onto screens so the retake can happen should the spike be planted.
Initiated.
All right, well, we are going to have this lockdown coming in. As they do declare that they will be moving towards the A site and looking to plant here. Xfero slowly backing out of this one. And let's see what this retake looks like for the side of RQ. That take comes down onto Elmimore. That was not planned.
Yeah, that means no shock darts for the time being.
Spike planted.
There's going to be Estrella trying to pull out here. He's going to get that First kill here onto Medusa, and May just on the corner, able to hold it down, able to peek it once again. He picks up 3, picks up 4, and DFM will close out the half with 8 rounds.
A very, very rejuvenated DFM. I mean, they might be looking to shock the world once again in their opening match here in Stage 2, just like they did in Stage 1. They came out swinging back then against T1. Of course, didn't go the rest of their way, but now maybe trying to recreate that magic. We'll see if RQ can bring it back.
Yeah, and we did have some data from RQ on this map. Their attacker side, 46%. They're going to have to up those numbers here today if they are going to have a chance up against DFM, who just looks revitalized for Stage 2, as you mentioned. They just look fantastic. Not sure what has gotten into them, but clearly the preparation and practice has made them a new team. Maybe Quack was onto something, you know?
Maybe he
coming
was.
back and, you know, some changes. We see some interesting agent compositions, and DFM's like, no, we're just going to bring it home the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, and on a map they haven't played at all this year to boot, and using a composition that I believe Zeta's actually been trying to stick with the Harbor, and it hasn't really gone very positively for them. But DFM working their magic with it, very slow, very methodical. And more than anything, again, I think the fact that they're always having someone there to trade, right? No one's going off trying to make solo plays. It's not like May's digging deep into his own pockets just to bring home some frags.
Nope.
And that's the big difference here in today for DFM.
Yeah. He's certainly being aggressive at times.
Sure.
But it's more so like a team unit, as you mentioned, and he's playing off of utility. He is peeking into people at the right times with the support of his team, and sitting at 18-9 right now, so he's feeling pretty good about his current score line. And he has been having quite the map, as has, you know, a lot of the players here on the DFM roster. And let's see what this attacker side is going to look like now for the side of RRQ with their triple initiator.
Yeah, so in theory with the triple initiator, you have tools to counteract the double controller, right? Because you can dump a lot more util to clear out these smokes step by step and counter that stalling power that DFM has. Now that they're on the attack, RQ, they have a little bit more priority in how they choose to use those timings.
See, that's just trying to jiggle peek, just trying to get information on what this push is going to look like. Says ready for the utility to come over the top, but that recon dart is going to get some value. Jemkin picking up the first kill on this entry. Neff and his buddy here just hiding around the corners, and these entry kills from the side of RQ are looking good. Monyet 2, Jemkin 2, and now it's only May left in a 1v4.
Well, he's got a couple 4Ks here on this map. We'll see if he can do it again with the Sheriff. But everybody hiding away. You've still got Monyet just to buy time on yellow as well. May, he's aware of the fact that there might be someone on the hunt. Coming around, wrapping around, given the numbers advantage that RQ has. So it's good to see that the round may feel lost, but May keeping his focus, making sure that he's getting what he can.
Well, he's going to see that barrel and the hands, actually, of the Killjoy. There's not a lot of time here, and he is going to be taken down, hunted down by Jemkin. Picks up his third kill on the round.
Yeah, so this round was most of probably what RQ was hoping to make happen throughout this map, right? You saw just the utility. Dizzy gets shot down, doesn't matter. Pop flash with the flash drive still happens, and then there's a recon as well. So it's not like you have to rush in to capitalize on the flash. You can sit back and say, all right, you guys put up smokes for us. We pinged you behind it. It's a free kill. Now we have a numbers advantage. And it's the pistol, so sure, maybe a little bit more impact, but we'll see if RQ can continue that trend, start to do a little bit of their own conditioning on their attacking side.
Yeah, it's definitely a better look for them to start off this half.
It's a lot of investment with the Ghost Bullets.
Okay, finally dealt with that in one way or another. And yeah, xFaro's just going to hold down this angle here on the Killjoy. Rest of the team pushed over at B.
The thing is with this much time passed, DFM, yeah, you might as well start shifting your weight to B. You've already made the commitment to take the space aggressively alone with May.
I would say that this big shift is going to help them out in spades. We'll see if they can pull off some kind of thrifty. Here's the spam already going down through the Viper's wall, as trying to take that one out, but the spam actually from Estrella and Jemkin going to prevent that deny. Now peeking around the corner, Monyet gets one, Monyet gets two, Monyet gets three, and the eco here not going to work out for the side of DFM. Unless May, he had a 1v4 the last time. He's trying to get a 1v5 this time. And even the 1v4 did not work. So looking pretty good for RQ to link 2 in a row, as there it will go. May only picks up 1.
Yeah, and of course for RQ, you only lose the 1 Ghost as well. So overall, the investment carrying over, you had 3 rifles and a Spectre on xFaro on that lurk. That's a lot of firepower that they can work with, making sure that they don't count their X too early. Spamming through that smoke, knowing that this is the strength of the double controller trying to come in, deny the wingman, and that would have been trouble for RQ as they have to close the gap. So overall, keeping their heads in the game. Thrash now online as well. RQ has a moment to try to flip the tables here in the 3rd round of the half.
Yeah, absolutely. And so far, this has been working out pretty well for them. Triple initiator, as May is going to be denied here for just a moment. Going to be pushed back down from that area.
It's just so many projectiles. Right?
Yeah.
Just everybody throws 1 piece of utility each. It's already 3 or 4, and then they've still got more for the actual execute, and then maybe 1 or 2 for the post plant. DFM, they have to realize that their smokes, their screens will not be respected for the majority of the second half.
Right here.
That is very true. May still trying to peek out here and see what he could see, but the rotation is coming in as they sense a push once again towards the B site. Although, as I do mention, that RQ themselves are looking to rotate out of the B area and potentially head over towards A, where it is only May and some Killjoy utility down here on the site.
I wonder if xFaro might have heard May right at the edge when he was on pipes, because that was an immediate reaction from RQ to start to re-clear the space slowly, and xFaro even watching to see if there's any advancement hiding out. Double swing.
Okay, it is going to be a 1-for-1, but we still do have a couple of members here from DFM that have rotated over to A. Here's the Thrash, trying to clear out the back of this site, see what he can see. Isn't going to see much, but we'll be able to get that back. The spike has been planted. This is going to have to be just a straight-up retake from DFM, as Anthem up on top. Looking, trying to push forward, but already Moshpit going to come down. And Elmimore is going to clean out 1. Takes down Medusa, who was up top. And Elmimore still holding this angle. He's able to hold the spray and take down Anthem. Sess to straight it back, but there's not a lot of time here for the side of DFM on the retake, as they will try to hold this defuse here. They are going to get it to half, and Sess is able to push down and deny this from happening. They get the defuse, and xFaro at the very end does take them down, but it's still a DFM round win.
Sure. I mean, in most cases, we would say, okay, well, it was, the bonus coming in, RQ, you take away all the guns, maybe it's not so bad, but considering how it happened, you have to start to wonder, DFM is looking strong today. This could be the round that makes the difference. Real unfortunate reload timing there for xFaro as he had to back out. And in my head, I was getting ready to talk about, once RQ wins that round, what were they doing well? The fact that they were ahead in numbers, they could afford to send someone past the smokes to be the scout and make sure that they're not sticking the plant, things like that. And immediately, DFM, a perfectly played 2-man defuse, 1 man going out front past their own toxic screen, not waiting for the sprays. A very well played round.
Yeah, absolutely. Really like the way they handled that. DFM on that retake, and this is a DFM timeout, even after that round victory. It's not a bonus, but everybody did go down at the end, so still some work to be done. I mean, they still need 4 rounds, and RQ have come back with a vengeance from the attacker side, so for right now, it does feel like it's still anybody's map, and I'm curious to see what is going to happen here. As you see, they don't quite have the money to buy much at all. So RQ still kind of in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, and RQ, they're going to all invest back up to rifles, surely still keeping tabs. I wonder if they're maybe scared of potential half armor buys coming in from DFM, but not going for anything like the Outlaw. Sure, they're on the attacking side, but we've seen that a lot just to counteract the economy out here in Pacific. But they will just be grouping up to make sure they're not giving away free weapons.
Throw forward the Gecko utility here. Trying to spam through these so many different walls, and it's a lot of vision denial with these 2 compositions here, especially on Icebox. There's a lot to clear out, as now the drone is going to come over the top here alongside of the dagger. The drone Might have been able to see them there on the backside, and actually, yeah, does catch Anthem. The flash on through, and Estrella is looking to push in, takes out Medusa, who was on the edge there of that screen. Sess just trade one back, but now the flash coming in on the back of the site, and Elmimore and Estrella just going to easily clean them up. Literally having no chance there to fight back.
And once again, May, he was holding close on green on the other side. You know, once they got the intel, it was A, just in case a rotate happens. Trying to get a cheeky kill or two with the shorty, but every time we see him in this position, the chances seem slimmer and slimmer, right? This time it's with a shorty against 4 members of RQ with the rifles. So surely looking to try to just go down to the spike, if anything. There's no reason to give over a free ult point, especially to the likes of Elmimore, who's only 1 away. That's why he's on the hunt. Yeah. He doesn't even have the creds, but he still wants this kill.
Well,
oh, no. Oh,
yeah.
no! He'll get the ult.
Yeah. Well, he does get the ult, but May picks up a Vandal. And we'll see if they do try to punish this one. xFaro is coming forward. Might have spotted the gun barrel there. May looking to peek the corner and takes him down as well.
Whoa.
Making a third as well right at the very end. So May getting some bonus kills at the very end of that round.
Yeah, and that does impact the economy a bit, right? If it was only Elmimore, you still all should be able to carry on with full armors and then buy the rifle over because xFaro had a lot of creds backed up. Now we got 3 members on half armors, and is that what's going to make or break this round? Maybe not, but could it impact the round that really matters to close out the map? Absolutely it could. So now that Hunter's Fury more important than ever to get value because you spend a lot to secure that ultimate.
Yeah, it definitely does. It is still the round over to RQ, so they're slowly pulling back in this one. So he's going to snipe him down. Neth not able to do much in this round before getting taken out. Anthem going to be hit by that dagger. And May, alongside of Anthem, maybe looking to push aggressively, but there's so many things in his face. As the Gekko utility does come in, but May hits a knife. Anthem as well. Medusa gets a kill. Make that 2. And now it's all up to Jemkin here in the 1v2. Medusa going to peek him again, but Jemkin, not to be outdone, picks up a second, is going to get this spike planted as well. We have a straight up 1v1. Sass a bit healthier at this point in time.
Yeah, and Jemkin's wary of the flank. The spike in a good position for him to try to spam it down from afar as well. But you have to remember, it is the Viper left alive. Sess can use that toxic screen to try to bait out Jemkin's position, right? See where the spam's coming from and then counteract it. It's a matter of time for Sess. So many angles to clear right now.
Yeah, and there's still a decent amount of time here at least on the defuse. He is going to tap it, and here comes the Thrash looking desperately.
Heard him, I think.
Yeah, must have. And now Jemkin going to throw down that snake bite, or rather get hit by the snake bite. Sass desperately trying to spam it, but no, Sass is able to hold it and finally gets taken out at the very end. But still, it's another close round that goes the way of DFM.
Oh man, 2 rounds like that, RQ. For your own sake, you have to win this map because otherwise those 2 rounds are going to live in your head rent-free for the rest of the night. And I can't believe Sess. He just makes sure that he knows the timing. He knows he can survive to get the defuse before the mosh goes off. Not sure if he was confident or if he just thought it was the best chance, but it works out for DFM. He was already past the half. Look at him. He's keeping his eye on the bar. He's got the smile. The coaches weren't sure. That's the answer.
They seemed pleasantly surprised at the very end there. But a win's a win, as they say. And DFM now just 3 rounds away from taking this map. And you see that May able to buy up here to an operator now. Of course, did have the Blade Storm in the last round. So looking to hold down this angle on the defense. Now we do have RQ looking to pressure in towards B.
All grouped up. It's just xFaro watching for the rotations in mid. So this is a pretty big commitment. They have no space on A, and DFM's cleared it so deep. May jumping off of the conveyor belt as well, looking right across the edge. So DFM knows for certain that this is a B hit.
And they definitely do. Jemkin trying to just throw something at Medusa. They want to hit him with something. Shock darts coming out. Medusa will be cleared up, but Sess with the Bulldog still holding this angle, and he's got some support as well. Picks up 2, make it 3. Nearly gets a 4th as Estrella takes some damage. And now it's Estrella and xFaro, and that's a drop shot. But May should know he is in the corner.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, but now there's the backup. A good call from RRQ. They realize that Xfero's stuck and they might as well make it a 2v1. 20 seconds, have to book it all the way to the A site. The spike should get planted, but RQ, they're trying to calm things down. They want to check all corners. Only 14 seconds. Now you don't have that leisure. You got to swivel.
10 seconds
Yeah,
left.
they do a bunch of that. It's going to be up to Anthem, who was incredibly clutch at the beginning of this map. We'll see if he can pull it back for the team here once again. It is a 1v2. He was able to pull off a 1v3 earlier to get the clutch for the team. This is a big ask. There's also the turret down here up against the Killjoy. He doesn't have a lot of information, and yep, Estrella just perfect timing there. Able to catch him with the knives out. And Anthem does go down, so RQ keeping this one close. They pick up an 8th round.
Man, I mean, RQ, a couple of these fights, they're starting to push out one by one, right? The pinch doesn't happen here as Jemkin peeks out. I get it that you pinged him earlier. Man, Cess.
Yeah.
The game sense kicking in for him, right at the edge of yellow. Not sure if he saw the barrel. I don't think he did.
I think it was the very tip.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Could have seen the ping or something like that. But either way, quick reactions and a good hold. And again, RQ, a little bit of the timing mismatch on some of these peaks.
Yeah, for sure. It hasn't been the cleanest map, but it's still, I would say, anybody's map at this point in time. They were able to take a lot of guns out of the hands of DFM, and RQ still in the driver's seat here on the comeback from the attacker side, which has been stronger tonight, at least, for both of these teams. May is going to pick up the Marshal. See if he can get some cheeky kills on this eco.
Yeah, that is absolutely a cheeky angle. See if he can get one for free. Now, RQ, if they invest this pit, they have to realize that there's a lot of ultimates on the other side, so it's not going to be as free as you think, despite the weapon advantage.
Ooh.
And Maze plants the headshot.
Oh, that's already massive. I mean, you're getting value out of the Marshal, and there's still no plant down. Some spam coming on through. Even the classic right click's getting some damage, but it does look like RQ able to bully their way onto the site here. May still holding onto this Marshal.
Yeah, but the flank, Medusa coming in from far. He picks up a rifle as well.
Ooh.
He could do a lot of damage. May not wanting to show his barrel through the Viper's pit.
He's just going to hang out in the corner here for a little bit. Cess trying to make some noise up there. The ping does come down.
Medusa needs to make something happen first for May to be able to jump in.
He's going to make his way in, and Medusa, oh, that's a 2K. He's trying to retake this one. He's trying to make the clutch happen. There's really not that much time, but if they both peek him, there is potential. He is going to get some damage down on the Jemkin, who just pushes through it and takes him down. RRQ nearly tying it up here, 9-10.
I mean, that was what? A Marshal purchased, right, for DFM. So the fact that they're still able to keep RQ starving for credits, making sure they have to reinvest every one of these rounds, just goes to show how clean DFM's been looking. I have to say, overall, I think DFM has had more consistency in how successful they've been and how clean it's been, how confident they've been in their choices. But RQ doing their best to try to catch back up. Now with half armors across the board, 1 point away from the Thrash for Jemkin.
Yeah, let's see where they want to go with this one this time around. It does look like just going to leave the Killjoy outside of A. And some more pressure towards B. This has been kind of, the starting call, and then eventually they do rotate into what they actually do want to go for. And a couple of members pushing out even towards green from the side of DFM, seeing what they can see there.
Oh, the drone not tagging anything. I'm curious to see what DFM's decision is based off of that. It does look like they're going to shift a little bit more power to mid and B. But the 0 point now gives them a bit of an inkling that RQ still hasn't made up their mind. Now RQ, they've denied any free control of something like pipes and belt over on the A side, so they have the freedom of choice to go either way. And now in the timing of the drone going through green, they're going to start to shift their weight, and the drone fake has worked pretty well. DFM's not going to bite fully, but they are saying, okay, the likelihood was on B side at that moment.
Yeah. And then the more the time goes by, we do have a lot of members here of DFM who are waiting right outside of A and are ready for this retake. And there it is. Arball's going to come down, but still this plant will happen. And trying to peek here is May, is going to see a lot of them trying to poke on some of the heads. And now the Thrash is coming out and is going to get taken out in that corner. Here is the lockdown, trying to push them back as much as possible.
Lineups are good for now, just trying to buy time during all of that utility. And Monette good for the first kill, trying to get the spray down. They know that they're sticking, and Monette needs to keep going.
Oh, and they're able to stop the defuse from happening. Manya just on the back of the site. He keeps taking them down. Estrella going to take down Cess as well, and it is a flawless round from RRQ. The lineups to delight. It got pretty close, but DFM were taken out in the end.
Yeah, it looked very chaotic, but the conclusion is that RQ, first of all, realized that DFM is going to be a lot more decisive about whether they stick on the defuse or not, and also gives them a little bit of the taste of their own medicine. Monette just swinging through the jungle of Icebox, picking up a kill, making sure he gives vision for the second on the defuser as well, and that will draw out that second time out. So again, chaos or not, adjustments coming in from RQ, and now DFM looking to answer back.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, I've been saying it's kind of anybody's map because, yes, DFM got ahead, but then RQ were coming back very strongly. But the way the last 6 or so rounds have looked, RQ has definitely been in major control. Even with some of them getting kind of dicey, kind of sloppy, whatever you want to call it, RQ's still very consistently pushing ahead. And now it does feel like they have very nice momentum, forcing that second timeout here, winning a big round there, and tying up the score.
Yeah, huge. I mean, you drew out the Reckoning, you still had the Thrash, the combat, things like the lockdown as well. So understanding the dynamic between the ultimates, and like you said, I mean, it took 16 rounds, but RQ was the one who did eventually catch up, and DFM no longer has a clear lead, nor do they have the weaponry to try to snatch it back. So they'll scrape together whatever they can have. You got the Viper's Pit as well, but it doesn't look like it's going to be used off the rip.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Let's see if DFM can sneak one, or will RRQ just continue with their dominance. As decent amount of utility thrown out here, trying to catch someone off guard, but Bay up top, and they do shut that down, and immediately rotating out is RRQ.
Yeah, so seeing the econ situation, RQ, they've chosen to stay grouped in the beginning, and even now, sure, it's a 1-4 split just to make sure that you're not giving away green clearance for free, but you're staying very tightly grouped up. And May wants to be the Joker who's going to break things apart, trying to make sure RQ stays divided, but he's got no support to be able to push further out.
Let's see how this one goes. We do have the flash over the top. The orb is going to be taken here. And no full committal just yet, but that lockdown will be committed to here from Xpero. That will push DFM back.
Nope. I don't think either of them are going to have any inkling that they've passed each other. Anthem might be able to do some damage because I think that turret's about to deactivate if Xpero goes deeper into the site.
That is very wonky. And now we got some fighting here on A. A couple trades back. May only does get one. And the spike has been planted. He is going to tap onto it, force some sprays down, see if he can get some angles on where exactly those members are.
Anthem, the alarm bot's in his way, but if he goes up on Belt, RQ will have no idea.
Oh, but RQ are getting some really good trades on A as this is happening. And Anthem also going to be taken down as Xpero is able to watch that angle and takes him down. So RQ finally taking the lead here once again.
And just at the end, we saw exactly how that turret was placed. I'm pretty sure it actually just didn't tag him because he stuck all the way deep. So, I mean, RQ, it might bite them back if something similar happens again. But for now, like you said, Monette's lurk hitting a bit faster, throwing DFM into confusion one step earlier.
Yeah, RQ just feels like they started out a little bit slow, kind of caught off guard by DFM, but as we have seen, I mean, 4 rounds in a row. This has been a very dominant attacker side from them so far. Still a very close map, but DFM haven't had a lot of momentum here. They're finally able, of course, to buy up, and this is going to be a critical round for them because if you drop this one,
yeah,
you're pretty much losing the map from there. So let's see if DFM can hold on.
And so they've chosen to just leave A site empty. They're going to vie for green control a bit more aggressively. That's going to be the curveball they're relying on. Planting May deep, but RQ, they've got a decent read on this because there's been no movement on A. There's no tag on the turret in mid. They're playing this slowly to try to regain space, make sure that there has to be a commitment from DFM. May even getting tagged, trying to bait them in. Takes a lot of damage for it, and now the drone spotted. RQ knows that it's a 2-man stack.
Yeah. And that's going to give them the information they need to group up and look for a push elsewhere. But immediately DFM are rotating out of this one. Not looking to hold down a lot of defense on the B site. Actually, both of them already moving over towards A, which is where RRQ are looking to push. As that suppression is going to come down. They do look to push here onto this one, the Hunter's Fury once again, but Monyet's still going to go in, and Neth is going to take him down, but Estrella and Zemkin, they push onto the site, and this defuse is looking good. It is a 5-kill in a row rounds here for the side of RRQ after only losing Monyet. And RRQ are looking good to take down Icebox.
Yeah, I mean, pushing as a team makes a world of a difference here for RRQ. There were a couple rounds earlier where they looked a little bit disjointed, but this time Monyet kind of leading by example and saying, even if I don't get the kill, let me open up the angles so you guys can all go for the trades. It's funny that it has to be the Viper, but someone has to do it, and there's no duelist on this side. They've already committed to it. They're all holding one angle each.
You see? You see my aim?
I saw it.
Yeah, we saw it.
It was pretty cool.
No, don't you worry.
It's very enjoyable to watch, yes. We did watch. He's got his blades out, and he's looking to push down through pipes, and he's looking to get a flank going. But now he's just going to regroup with the team over towards B, as this push is coming in pretty quickly from the side of RRQ. Shock Dart already, and some information that DFM is here and ready to potentially defend.
Yeah, RQ's very well aware that the whole team is here. What a spam by Estrella.
Yeah, that's just massive. But Anthem, a couple of Guardian kills, making this interesting. Going to take a lot of wind out of the sails of this push. Only more backing off. The push is coming down mid as we speak as well. Trade 1-for-1. The spike is down.
Xfero's gone through. DFM has no idea. I mean, Medusa's watching it, but not through the window.
Yeah, and this is really the critical moment. Can we see Xfero get massive value here, potentially get the drop on a two of them? We do see, I think it was Anthem, was looking down mid, but he's not looking in the right spot. The shot a little bit messy, but he's able to get the one as Neth is able to survive on 5 health.
And Elmimore gets the read that if they're still sticking around yellow, that it has to eventually have been the entire stack, or at least just watching mid here by DFM. Elmimore looking to get this clutch, bring home the victory for RRQ. Sure, Neth, like you said, only 5 HP, but it is still another body he has to shoot at, so we'll see if DFM plays this to their advantage.
Yeah, he's also got that Vandal in hand, and Elmimore still a lot of angles he has to hold down. As he is going to find Medusa in the 1v1. And not exactly the best peak, I suppose, but it works out, and Medusa gets the kill, and they will get the defuse. DFM, they're not going down just yet. They're able to upgrade some of those guns, and they're able to stay around on Icebox.
Yeah, RQ trying to force their way into B site. Now, on A site, it can actually work if you have more util, because now if they're hiding in corners to get the crossfire, you're going to make sure either they're taking chip damage or they have to come out at a disadvantageous time, things like that. But over on B, I mean, both of you can just spam through the smoke, and you are not going to have the certainty that you have the better angles. Got a little bit lax there, and that's going to force Coach Ewok to call that timeout. Try to make sure they cross the finish line, because or else this could go for a much longer time given how the rounds have gone by so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very close map still. I feel like, you know, DFM, they ruled the first half, and now RRQ have ruled mostly the second half. But still, you see that scoreline, 12-11. DFM slowly struggling, slowly clawing their way back into a position. That wasn't a round I feel like they should have been able to win, but RRQ perhaps just trying to push a bit too hard onto that B site. They get caught out with a couple of deaths, and then they lose a lot of pressure on that push, and they have to rotate. Doesn't work out for them. And I would love to listen and hear what Ewok has to say going into this final round before potential overtime.
Yeah, something that RQ hasn't really done much of is work mid, right? They haven't put much pressure on it early. Now, obviously, having no duelist means that you're not going to have a speedy hit on it. But now Xfero's got that operator. We've seen him do this a couple times in stage 1, where he will start to be the one that holds a little bit of the aggressive angles on the lurk, try to cut off any rotations that are vying for info. Meanwhile, DFM, they look like they might be wanting to push out eventually to take control of pipes and belt for a little bit of A control.
Yeah, we'll see if they do go for that. For now, just gonna wait around, although slowly pushing up here is May as it does begin. Estrella looking for this one, and he might actually find himself looking at 3 members. Oh, but the timing on that is perfect. He sees Neth, he sees the shots come through, and is able to get out without a scratch.
Yeah, Medusa's going to be the one that DFM's banking on. If he gets the first kill, then he can be the bait that forces them to chase. But the Thrash is being used to clear. They can't quite clear Nest, and that's the Hunter's Fury trying to fish for it. Will not land the kill on Xfero.
Yeah, not quite. Does do a decent chunk. As May kind of awkward detain there for him as he is going to back away.
I think they might have forgotten that this is a possibility. So much has been traded out, but now they know. He gets out alive.
Oh, how does he get out of there? He's able to get that kill and just skirt away without much damage done at all. I mean, he's 23 armor.
And now no time. I mean, Viper's Pit up on the B side. DFM's pretty sure that this is a hit.
Oh, Medusa.
He's still alive.
He's still alive. He's still kicking as May is able to come in and take down Jemkin through the Viper's screen. And now Monyet up top. He's going to have to be the hero. He does pick up 2. Can he make a 3? No, net. Able to jump down with the shorty.
10 seconds.
10 seconds and a dream. Xfero trying to hold it. He is going to get one
But
kill,
no
but he can't
time.
get the second, and he doesn't have enough time. Down he will go, and we will have overtime.
Oh my. I mean, RRQ, they were starting to look better and better.
Overtime.
But just a couple of these corners, and it's always that second floor, you know? They're always looking at ground floor. They're good at clearing that. But these nests, you know, these walls that you're able to use on Icebox, continuing to grasp at RQ's angles, not letting them close out the map. And DFM, what focus to bring this back to overtime right at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty insane how they were able to win, especially the round before, where I felt like they were in a really rough spot. Once RRQ hit 12, perhaps RRQ themselves kind of thought, okay, we did it. You know, DFM, they don't have an economy. We just beat them in the most important round. We got this. And then DFM just annoyingly sticking through. Annoying for RRQ, of course, and DFM. All credit to them. They're making this real interesting in this first map. This is not exactly what I was expecting personally. But man, they have really come out with a fire here in this first one.
Yeah, and May 27 kills to the 20 deaths. Absolutely doing the lion's share here for DFM. I mean, on the Korean stream, they were able to talk to the coaching staff of DFM, and they talked about how they want to play around May even more, enable him even more to play to his strengths, make sure that he's comfortable playing things like the Jet, which is something that he was shying away from. They were playing mostly all just Raze maps, and now we're seeing this Jet looks good. I think he should play it more, quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of insane what he's doing on this map. Like, just play it every time, to be honest. It's so strong. Maybe not. You know, it's very good. It's very good. But let's see what DFM have in the tank here for their first attacker round of this overtime. As, you know, they have not shied away from mid too much. They have oftentimes looked to put in pressure here. And here they go.
And with that cascade, that should let RQ know. Xfero, good spam through the smoke, picks up an important kill on the Viper, and now RQ just needs to stay alive to play to the number of strengths here on the retake.
That's exactly what it looks like they're going to try to do as the plant does come down. They kind of in a cheeky spot here. And a lot of angles covered by DFM. Let's see how RQ does want to handle the retake. They're sending one guy from behind, but the rest, the lion's share of the members looking to poke straight in as Medusa falling down, gets taken out of the air by Monyet. And now Elmimore, the perfect timing to get on in here. A couple of kills do go to DFM. Anthem still holding it down, but he can't cover every single angle. And RQ will pick up the first overtime round.
Yeah, an ever important defensive round win at that. Something that escaped both of the teams in their respective halves. And I wanted to give credit to DFM as well. You know, they were able to push through mid, but they wanted to make sure that they were able to get control of the site fully first. So instead of trying to go for the most ideal scenario, you know, take Snowman and plant in the open, they say let's plant close and let's use these high-low setups for these trades. But unfortunately, Monyet forces Medusa out of position, and that leads to the crumbling of DFM's post plan.
Monyet, a couple of very important early kills there. Also, that spray just held for the entire time. Just got the kill at the very end. That's got to feel pretty good for him. And let's see now, RQ, as you mentioned, both these teams have been very successful on the attacker side, but DFM not able to get it done on their overtime attacker side. As now Sass going to be pushed out of yellow for now. Let's see if RQ does commit onto the B side. It doesn't feel like they've had a lot of success, though, pushing towards B. So it does look like they will rotate out.
Yeah, but DFM knows the same thing, right? They realize that B's usually just been used to push and pull. You've got the close angle being held by Anthem. 2 members to trade in a crossfire at that. May's going to be the first point of contact. Now, this drone should let RQ know that DFM was holding close.
Should, as he is going to send that out pretty early. May is going to be rooted out of one of those nests, and it does get pushed back. So bit by bit, they are trying to peel away layers of the A site. But we still have a couple of guys that are still hanging around towards green, and now the spike rotating back towards B.
Oh, but DFM's call is so good. Anthem's been calling these rotations quite well throughout this entire map. He knows it's just a fake once again, and DFM's already here. The site's filled up.
Yeah, DFM should be very ready for this. Now can they hit the shots is really the question. A couple of guys there behind Yellow. Now he's got the shorty out, but Cess is going to be rooted here as May picks up a couple. He is pretty low on health, but already doing the lion's share of the carrying as now pushing in Medusa. They don't clear him out. He picks up 2. And out to Estrella with 7 seconds. He's got to hold this one, and May is just going to peek him. Oh, Estrella does get the kill, but Anthem easily backs off and denies the round win. So we're tied up once again, 13-13.
Anthem, he's really making these calls just purely off of observation, right? I mean, you don't know for a fact that they've rotated. It's not like they did a full re-clear of Belt over on the A side, but you're looking at the timer, you're looking at the tendencies that RQ has had, and you're saying, okay, we can still leave one person here just in case, but everyone else should start rotating, because if they're not following on this 0 point, right, the tendencies they have, usually we're going to see them try to go for these dry swings on some of this, on the flashes afterwards, to try to go for the pre-checks around the walls. I'm not seeing it. I want my teammates to be on the other side. And RQ probably scratching their heads wondering, how in the world were there 4 people waiting for us at the B site?
Yeah.
But maybe you're being a bit too transparent.
Yeah. So sometimes it can be hard, that mental battle where it's like you feel like you're having a good read. The rotation back to the site should catch them off guard, but they're just reading you like a book, and it just feels unfair sometimes. As DFM themselves do take this timeout, just trying to talk over what to do for the future potentially as they head back to the attacker side. Both teams not able to get an attacker side win.
And RQ, given the way that they were pushing and pulling on that map, I feel like the players might have thought that it was theirs to close out once again. But the denial, that's DFM's share. Take us to another set of overtime. Still no operators on either side, so we're not going to see any of those ballsy plays. It is going to be a push out from RQ. Now, they've been giving up the space for most of the half after it didn't work initially. Now they'll just back off after seeing how many members they've tagged.
Yeah. 0 point comes through, and they're like, oh, okay. Slow this one down a little bit. Drone's going to come over the top, sees ahead. See what else it can see as May is looking to follow up right behind this one. Just slowly peeking on through. Some walls are going to be thrown up. But May and Medusa have pushed forward here over the wire as well. Getting onto the site, now peeking onto the back of it as RQ are stacked up here. LB Moore able to get a couple, and Medusa only trades back 1. And that is easily the cleanup from RQ.
So RQ actually doing something very similar that DFM has been doing as well, right? One person gets tagged, they work as the bait to try to draw them in, and they're actually using DFM smokes against them, really starting to funnel in behind some of these walls that the Heartman Viper put up. And surprise, surprise, there's just too many targets when Anthem swings out around that box. DFM, a rude awakening for them as they get routed away from the site. No plant either. So didn't even quite see the light of day. Now RQ once again, for the 3rd and 4th time, trying to close out this map. Their choice on Icebox.
Yeah, it is very close on their choice of Icebox, but again, as I said earlier, a win's a win if they can get it done. But DFM have not been making this easy for them. And now, back on the attacker side. Nobody seeming to have much luck on the attacker side in overtime. Anthem here with the drone. Let's see what he can see.
Does anybody clear it on purpose? So it's just going to be Monyet shown alone. It's the Viper, so it's hard to really glean any information. Obviously, you can work off of assumptions and patterns, but doesn't really serve a lot of info. Now you see the drone as well, so DFM holding their ground on B. Meanwhile, Xfero not making any...
Oh, he peeks out there, he gets flashed. Really unfortunate timing for May, but this is a great opportunity now for RRQ. They know Anthem's right around the corner, and the wingman is going to help out hugely. Medusa still able to get the one kill. Oh no, the flash not able to stop him from getting that kill somehow, and Anthem holds it down.
What is going on?
30 seconds left.
Icebox just wants us to watch more of DFM because everything's going their way.
Oh, Xfero, he had pushed all the way behind them. And now he's kind of the thorn in the middle of the map. They don't know exactly where he's going to rotate to. They can't rotate over very quickly. Elmimore also going to get the pick off onto Anthem here. Neth also looking to swing, and now Xfero, oh, he's able to hold on to that one and spots the last member of DFM as that Thrash. Not able to land, but he's on 10 health, 1v2. This is looking like a done deal, and that it will be. RRQ finally able to take Icebox 15-13.
Probably not in the fashion that RQ wanted, given the hype around this roster reshuffle. But like you said, a win is a win. They're laughing as well. They know it didn't quite go as planned, and DFM coming out so strong. But this looks like it might be an absolute marathon of a match, as we've already gone through a couple overtimes here on Icebox.
Yeah, clearly these two teams very evenly matched, at least on this first map. We'll have to see what DFM can do when they return in the second map, which I do believe is Ascent, their choice. But either way, guys, we're done here for the first map. Let's throw it back to the analyst desk to break down all the action.
Well, it was looking a little rough for RQ, but the power of friendship helped eke them through really far into overtime, and they make it through. I mean, this is a good showing from DFM, though.
Oh, yeah. This was, I mean, a much different look. One that we couldn't have really expected, but one that is very refreshing to see. May picking up the jet, something that he's been apprehensive about, utilizing in the past, because we've been seeing him play, Raze on Ascent. Hasn't been the best aside from, the victory over T1, but this jet is cracked. That was an incredible performance. I mean, to be able to get DFM up 8-4 at the half, solid start, and it was really concerning for RRQ because they're running duelistless. So having that really poor start on the defense, it was looking like this was going to be DFM's map. But yeah, I mean, power of friendship, power of perseverance, they barely managed to come out on top.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest takeaway here, specifically for DFM, is how good their fundamentals are, right? We are talking about how there was something kind of missing with DFM. It may be the firepower, it may be the way that they kind of just, how quickly they can go for refrags and whatnot. But this game shows that it was so snappy every single time. You'd see Anthem just go for a nasty flick. You were talking about May, of course. You also saw Medusa come into play. There was just so many things was happening here for DFM that just looked so flawless, and that ultimately almost led them to this, first map win.
Now, I do want to talk about RRQ's pomp.
30 bomb, by the way. Sorry, just had to point that out. May drop 30.
Oh, yes. Yes, he did. Well, May doing amazing things. But RRQ's team composition here, no duelists. This is not the first time we've seen it, but it's the first time we've seen RRQ do it.
Yes, I mean, we saw, a duelistless comp from Zeta Division on Icebox versus DRX. That obviously did not go their way whatsoever. That was a 0-13 blowout. RRQ, though, able to pilot this to, to success. They get the win, as they were saying on the casting desk. A win is a win. RRQ will take it, but this did not come easily.
Yeah, I think the problem supposedly here for RRQ is how they kind of, I think the casters talk about it like layers and such. RRQ, I felt like, didn't have the right grasp of how to layer their utility. You'd see they're going to throw it at the first contact, the second contact during the post plant. They're not going to have anything, so it's all about that kind of hard shooting style to just kind of keep DFM at bay. And it felt like the entire game they were still kind of just figuring out what the tempo is against DFM before that. And you see like just some heroic plays just so that they can clutch some of these rounds in, which ultimately helped them win the game. But of course, still kind of makes you think, how can they just make it cleaner moving forward? Again, even though they win this first map.
I mean, that is definitely going to be the question. This was RQ's map pick. They have shown a strong showing on this map in the past. This is, maybe a little worrying here. And if you're going to go with a duelist less comp, you gotta be able to layer that utility, like you were saying, Asarai. I mean, Killers, how are you feeling like, going into Ascent now?
I mean, I think that if May continues to just play the Jet, then yeah, I think this absolutely could go the distance. I think this absolutely could go all the way to 3 maps. But, I mean, one of the big things that they had was a lot of hero plays here for the side of DFM, and I think that Ewok is probably going to be telling them, like, okay, we cannot allow for these things to happen. This is what we're doing wrong. This is how we're letting them kind of, like, inch their way back into these rounds and pull off these clutches against us. If they're able to tighten things up there, then I think that RQ is still going to be in a good spot. Because, I mean, similar to May, showing off this Jet, we know that Jemkin absolutely cracked in his own right on Jet. So I think that firepower-wise, they're going to be decently matched, and I think that a lot of this will come down to the team play.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like we got a showcase of how technical these teams got during the break, and it really shows during that first map, and I absolutely love it.
I do love some of the highlights we got from Monyet, though. We were talking about that zipline moment when Monyet basically Rambo'd his way through A site and just demolished everyone on the other side. But Ascent is the next map. It's DFM's pick. And yeah, they had 2 losses on this map, but those losses were pretty close. I don't know. This is going to be kind of tough for RQ. This is not a bad map for DFM.
Nope, not at all. I mean, one of the things that they kind of bounce back and forth against each other decently well. Granted, we've only seen it twice from RQ, 3 times from DFM. If they want to continue to iterate and innovate, maybe we get something a little bit different. But I think that this is probably going to be maybe DFM just shifting over into a more standard composition, bring that Killjoy back in, just saw it on Icebox, keep that here, going into Ascent, pivot off the Raze, move over to the Jet. Probably just going to be, potentially mirrored matchups coming through between these 2 squads. But, I mean, overall, higher attack win percentage there for the side of RQ. Pretty weak defense, strong defense for DFM, weak attack. So this could just end up being like, like a 6 and 6 half.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It was Flipsider that was playing as the KO, right, for RQ here. He leaves now.
I do believe so.
So where does Monyet kind of fit into this if they're just going to go for the El Clasico, comp for Ascent? Is he going to take the reins of a KO?
I would assume potentially this is where we could see Monyet playing the Omen, and then Estrella moving over onto that KO perhaps. That, or maybe if they even pivot, like Elmimore into that one, and then have Estrella run the Sova, something that he's also quite well versed with. I mean, this is the thing about RQ, is like they do have all of these possibilities because their players are quite flexible. So, I mean, they could come out with anything.
And Ewok did say expect to be surprised. So it could happen. I mean, Monyet on an Omen would make the most sense, but maybe we will be surprised. Before we go into the next game, though, we got our GGG Guess and Gain game. This is our current rank. I'm crap at bronze. So.
Oh, I'm also bronze. It just says gold.
Are you?
Yeah, hey, whoa. Graphics people, fix that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the only gold one in here.
He's the chosen one.
All right,
the
question is, which team wins more rounds after timeout map 2? This is an interesting stat, actually. We've been showcasing this throughout the Pacific. I believe Team Secret and Paper Rex are top there when Warbirds was still in from stage 1. Who wins more rounds after the coach's timeout? RQ is slightly higher at 35% win rate, and DFM at 26%. This is like something to consider. I see the audience kind of knows that. 70% of you guys have picked RQ. So we are going to predict, and you guys got, maybe 10 seconds to decide on this. You can talk through the process. You don't have to hide your answer. You can talk us through it.
I'm just thinking that DFM's going to start off strong again, so they end like an 8-4, and then RQ, or like, I don't know, like a strong start, multiple rounds, then RQ the one that has to kind of stop the brakes, pump the brakes, call the timeout, and then they start building things back up. So that's probably my thought process here.
I committed 0 brain effort into this. I'm just going to say RQ. It just felt like Ewok was having some decent impact with his timeouts there. And I think he likes to call timeouts when the team is in a position to win, rather than something like we see from Bleed, where it's like, okay, I'm going to call this on a Thrifty, and then we'll set up the attempt at a Thrifty as well as for the next buy round. So I'm just going to go for RQ.
Okay, fair.
I'm going to go for a tie.
Is that double again?
Is it double? I don't know. We're going to find out
It
later.
should be. Yeah.
It is double. It
Ah.
is double. I'm just
Risk.
gonna go double or nothing.
That's true.
That's what I'm doing today. I completely agree, though. I think natural inclination, no brain pick would be RQ, just based on stats. But let's first see what the agent picks are, because that, you can't change your answers, but it might change it, verbally.
Yeah,
and
just immediate regret.
Yeah. No, I fumbled.
Alrighty.
wait.
Yep. Okay, so stock standard. This is exactly what I wanted to see here for the side of Detonation. It is going to be Estrella there on the KO with Monyet back on smokes.
Oh, May's going to be just on the jet again. I
Yep.
mean, you're talking about how effective he was, so
Everything I asked for, delivered. Thank you, both teams.
hell yeah. El Clasico, but there's a lot of thought behind it as well, where we know DFM played very differently on Ascent this time, just going to this, and then RQ. So very much looking forward to see how this kind of fares out, because again, it is the standard comps, but the way they kind of reached up to it had definitely a different reasoning behind it.
And I think that this is a lot more. Not that the Icebox wasn't exciting. I mean, obviously 15, 13, there's so
100%,
much back and forth. But I think this is even more exciting because now we get that explosive power put on display on Icebox by May, potentially matched, if not exceeded, by Jemkin on the other side. William was talking about it. Joba rather was talking about it. These guys have clashed before in Japan. Now we get to see it here. Jet v Jet.
That is going to be super fun. And Ewok did say he did not want to underestimate DFM. You can see why. Monyet has also been pulling his weight. This has been absolutely exciting. We're going to go into game 2 of today. Over to our casters, Chobra and Valdez.
Thank you, Analyst Deskers, for that wonderful breakdown and just hype building going into the second map here, hoping for the tie afterwards. I'm trying to think, what was the case on Icebox? What did we actually have?
Oh, for the timeouts?
Yeah.
I think they might
I think they
have...
both lost. Like, everybody lost after their timeouts.
I think they were pretty even. Maybe 1-1 each, something like that. I guess there was the overtime one as well, but we'll have to keep our eyes on it because it's going to be pretty crucial when you're going with the classic comps on Ascent. May gets an early tag, piloting that raise for all of stage 1, but now going back to the roots of any duelist. May, of course, played a lot of Jet last year as well, so now going back to a little bit of that comfort dash opping type of duelist.
Yeah. You see one guy left here on the 0 point, and it is going to be still the rotation coming out here. We still have Xfero just hanging around in mid as well to see if anyone is going to poke their head out from DFM. As we can see, nobody is thinking about that. We do have 3 people over by A still, though, with the drone coming in, and now Anthem going to get first contact here in B main.
The fake drone, it bought just enough time, but they have to start to funnel through, and that smoke comes in perfectly for DFM to try to stall it. RQ, they're slowly making their way, don't want to give away free kills, and that's a good trade from Monyet.
Yep, that it is Anthem now in the boathouse, but he is buying a lot of time. He is staying alive. He's going to throw a shock dart in as well, and Neth and Sass able to make their way back over to the B side. He's run out of bullets, and Estrella is going to be taken down. Elmi Moore, he does not have the spike, and he has a classic as the Sova, and he will be looking to rotate all the way from behind.
Yeah, and Sass even putting up the smoke as well, just in case the wraparound has happened, since the last time they saw the Sova was on the A site.
10 seconds
Try to switch to something that has some ammo, but it's not going to be powerful enough as Anthem clears it out. And DFM, quick reactions, quick calls from Anthem, continuing today as the IGL of DFM as they pick up the pistol.
Yeah, very nicely done. I think they got the information very early on, and then RQ just kind of, they pushed in, but they didn't clear everybody out very fast, and they were not able to get the plant down. So everybody able to rotate over from DFM and win a couple of trades, and it just essentially goes their way. They know they have the spike down there on the site, and they will start off with yet another pistol round win.
Ooh, Outlaw purchased up by May as well. So triple rifles, an Outlaw. Picking up a page from Gen G with a lot of these Guardian purchases. DFM liking what they saw from the recent Masters winners coming back to Pacific. So with the Outlaw, obviously they'll be putting down a lot of pressure down mid. Now thankfully for RQ on their side, they didn't invest into any sheriffs. So the Outlaw's ultimate value really should drop off in the next round, but we'll see how much he can pick up here on this one.
Yeah, well, he's going to start off with 1 onto Xfero, and that's going to be a big push in towards StreamNet. Going to spot that one. Throw down a nade as well, and Now May is over here. He's going to pick up another, make it 3.
Spike down
As he
A.
is just mowing them
enemy
down.
remaining.
Cess going to deny any hope of an ace, but still going to feel pretty good here for DFM. Elmi Moore is like, well, what do I do here?
Yeah, trying to see, is there anything he can do? Is anyone going to push him close? You saw a little smile on him as well. Says, come fight me, bro. 1v1 me, bro. Medusa's kind of thinking about it, but DFM will
30
be
seconds
wise. Will not take the bait.
And May's going to pick up a 4th kill, actually, so it's feeling pretty good for him to get his knives online pretty early.
Yeah.
And that one being flawless.
The thing is now with the Outlaw, he can keep that for this round. It's still a very powerful weapon. Like you said, he's close to his Blade Storm, which means ultimately that he can eventually upgrade straight into an Operator as well. If things go even moderately here for DFM, you can see the smile on his face, loving the shots he had. Now 4-1. A strong start once again for DFM, just like they had on Icebox. See if they can continue on the defensive side. Should be a little bit favored.
Yeah, definitely should be. It's their map choice, and you know that DFM do enjoy this map. And they started off strong on Icebox. Feels like they have even more tailwind behind them to push them forward on this map, given the circumstances. Outside of, you know, losing the first one in kind of a close manner, but other than that, it's a new map. It's a new DFM, they say. As the push is coming on in, we are going to have contact from the turret already as some push is going to come in onto the A side. The recon dart getting some great value. Xfero able to take the first one out. Medusa still on the back of the side here, will be taken down by Jemkin, but the spray from Sess does get one. But it is just a Bulldog as RRQ will make their way onto the A side.
Yeah, RRQ really wants to try to make sure they can carry over all 4 weapons. That would be great. Oh, no! Bit of a missed timing there for Monyet. Doesn't realize he saw the head of Anthem.
Yeah, maybe just not looking that way, but now trying to drop down here and not quite able to line up any further kills. So 3 rifles held on to here by RRQ, and a pretty nice push onto the A site.
Yeah, not the end of the world, of course, as they did have a Guardian in there as well, because they wanted to make sure they all had full armor off that Outlaw. So they'll be able to buy up with some half armors, go with some rifles. Now, as foreseen, it is going to be the Operator picked up on the other side for May. We'll see RQ. Are they ready for it? Do they suspect it? And also, what is their answer to start to push that away?
Yeah, that is a good question. We have seen, you know, outside of the first round, a lot of pressure here towards the site. And once again, 4 members, obviously with the Killjoy over towards B. Trying to push in here, but 3 members suppressed. Going to get some information there. And it does look like RRQ will back out for now. Oh, hello.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's info gained by RRQ, thankfully, without the cost of a life being taken. You know the Odin's on B, you know the Op was in mid, and you let them see 3 members, but not the Sova. So RRQ trying to play mind games against DFM now, making them think that it's just going to be the classic rotate. And now the execute onto the A side. The paranoia is good. He drops on top.
Yeah, that he does. May not able to hit the shot, but it is traded. Neth does get one here in the corner as the push is coming in. And finally, they do take out May, though. On the top of heaven, they take out the Operator. Now RRQ, they will be able to get this plant. There's only Medusa and Anthem left. And not the easiest spot for them either.
Last player standing.
And they find Anthem as well. Xfero's position already good to cut off anybody else that shows up. So Medusa with that value weapon of the Odin, you're going to have to save that up. You've already dropped the Operator. You don't want to lose any more value out here, and obviously the attackers can use the Odin quite well on Ascent, so it's not going to be something that you give up. Just recon and everything from RRQ to make sure that they're safe. A little bit of a hunt, as Estrella does have extra credit. So does Elmi Moore to buy for their teammates.
Yeah, RRQ very nicely done on this round. They get the information of the Operator.
Oh, okay, the alarm bot finds him.
Yeah. He's going to find, oh, he goes down. Nice headshot here from Xfero. And that is going to be Medusa losing his Odin on top of everything else. So that is a lot invested into that round, and RRQ immediately just wipe the slate clean and tie up the score.
Yeah, it always feels rough because on Ascent, the faster you get the Odin, the faster you get the Op, it's good. But for now, let's talk about this replay. I mean, the way that they first of all bait out the Operator first, they're ready to trade the power weapon to make sure they can get past the choke point, and then they go for another great double swing with a wide swing as well to create those fights. So excellent 2v1, 3v1s here played out by RRQ. A lot better teamwork than we saw in the beginning of Icebox. Maybe a little bit of warm-up needed for this squad.
Yeah, for sure. DFM as well. Looked a little bit like they were scrambling to try to get over to that A site and not quite able to get enough utility to stop that push from coming in. And RRQ able to really be crisp on those entry shots to force their way in, essentially. As now, not a lot of time spent over by A. We do have a bit of a B stack here from DFM, though. The Blade Storm has been utilized by May, so a chance for a big clash in B.
Surely, RRQ, you don't take the chance to use the null command, but either way, B site usually the go-to position for something like the null command. DFM's reading through that. Pop flashes come through, and May is good for 2! Goes up above off of the paranoia.
All right, well, Jemkin is at least able to get that one, but still a huge value for May. Let's see what they can get done. Tess in the corner, able to spray them down. And Neth also picks up one, and now it's all up to Monyet. As they don't quite know where he is, but now they are going to get that information. And DFM on the Thrifty. And that was a very pretty thrifty round from them.
Yeah, excellent trap set up by DFM. Just gets the read that if it's not A initially right off the rip, there is a good chance it's about time RQ starts to put pressure on B, right? We just dropped the Odin. They're going to think they have an opening. They have the null command. So it's set up. The paranoia is perfect. And May immediately jumps up, gets 2, slows things down, and RQ kind of a hit the panic button situation as they just try to force their way. And that leads to a pretty devastating loss.
Yeah, so much of the way RQ was able to wipe DFM on the A site a couple of rounds ago. DFM able to do a very similar thing with less firepower here on the previous round. Drone immediately gonna spot Jemkin out here in mid. May have seen a little bit extra. It died so fast, I'm not even sure myself.
I think probably just Jemkin spotted. But at the end of the day, the alarm bot's still there, so I love this from Anthem, right? You force RRQ to have to spend more time clearing out positions in mid, and you trust your alarm bot. Now, it has been cleared, and the members on B site, they just have to hold in the site. They cannot stop this push any earlier.
Okay, well, Streya's going to open this one up on a Medusa, but May is crisp with it. He does take down Jemkin. This push continuing. Sass on the back of the site. Anthem also slowly rotating over, but they're still in mid.
Yeah, Anthem knows this because they haven't actually gone into the site. He gets one. Yuto coming out, but he's trained on for 3! The transfer.
Oh, that was beautiful. Also the positioning as well from Anthem. He just knows that, okay, they're going to push. They're going to swing off the start. Let me swing ahead of them. Neth going to finish it off nicely, catching off Xpero off guard. So big rounds here for DFM to take once again.
Yeah, I know that May put up insane numbers on Icebox. And, you know, maybe it's just because we kind of expect great things from May all the time. But Anthem has absolutely impressed me with some of his decision-making, both individually and as an IGL throughout the match today. Excellent highlights on his own. You called it, the swing past the dart early to try to get the first hit. It's a good call, and now that bought the time for May to gather the econ for another operator.
Get out of my way!
And he's still on top of the scoreboard, 8 kills himself in the 6 rounds that we have had. And a second operator already. So now RRQ going to look to push in here on a thrifty round themselves. Manya trying to lead the charge through the smoke. A lot of smoke dropped in towards this A site. Anthem just going to get hit by a huge amount of damage. Just walks right onto it. Maybe a bit over aggressive. And now, okay, Neth is going to be able to hold down health for just a little bit, but just the one kill. And RRQ are just making their way in here on the thrifty.
I love that the Pacific teams are taking pages out of Gen G's book, but maybe everyone thriftying each other isn't quite what we were looking for here in Stage 2.
Yeah.
It is happening a lot, but just goes to show that I think you know, a lot of the teams now upgraded in their teamwork as well, not counting the round out, knowing that you can still do damage if you use your numbers correctly, if you use your util correctly, just like RQ did in this one and DFM several rounds ago.
Okay, well, Seth's gonna come in here and pick up a kill, but he has a lot to do and not much time, and Elmimore will take him down. He's not gonna save anything, and that's another thrifty. I think it's back-to-back thrifties, right?
Yeah, I believe so. And honestly, we might see more on Ascent, especially with the way some of the util can get you a lot more space, things like that. We'll have to wait and see, but for now, a couple of power ultimates online. Of course, the Blade Storm was there, but most importantly, I mean, Anthem getting taken out on an unfortunate timing. He tries to get ahead of the util, but The damaging util flying in, the shock darts and the fragment a little bit later than DFM expected. So Anthem actually drops right into the lava pit, so to speak.
Yeah. That's rough. He did not win the game of don't touch the lava. That's for sure. He fell off the bookcase. And
oh, that would hurt.
that's why they say don't touch the lava. But yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. Now that's going to be May losing a second operator on top of it all as well. So it feels like a lot of value on this map from both teams just kind of going to the wayside with these thrifties coming through.
Estrella would have been stuck, but no follow-up in damage from DFM. Immediately draws out Monyette's smoke, though. So now DFM should have a bit of an inkling that there's still a lot of focus on that mid. Even saw a bit of that fake shrouded step. May waiting to see if there's a counter peek. Now the smoke to pressure mid. They already cleared out the alarm bot. So DFM now basically have to stick with a 2-1-2. There's no other way to really get good information in the current state of this round.
Yeah, absolutely. And RQ are going for this push in towards tree. It is going to be Jemkin who leads the charge as we have a lot of blinds being thrown through. I heard a Hunter's Fury, yes, did come out. Medusa also going to pick up that kill
30 seconds
onto
left.
Xfero outside behind. So that's going to be the one, and Cess himself going to get a crisp headshot. And make it another one from May, but Estrella and Monyette trying to make things interesting. Neth will trade one back, and it's only Monyette. And they know exactly where he is. He is going to TP out of the site, pick up the spike, and get it planted. But he's already taken a bit of damage, and they are swinging from every angle here, and he will be taken out. So DFM back on the board.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been so many members to fight through. So getting the plant at the very least, making sure that you've got some credits still flowing your way, despite the loss as we continue to trade round for round. But getting this kill on Xfero was big. I love the timing from Medusa as well to push forward and say, okay, you know what, we heard them kind of back out of A short, but they're definitely not coming into B because main control has been lost. That'll be the timeout. Everyone from the analyst desk of both languages now waiting to see the result of the next round.
Waiting with bated breath to see. And yeah, I mean, I think this is a pretty good time for RQ to call the timeout. They did just get cleaned up there.
Yeah, it's honestly, the score line is not that bad considering it's attack on Ascent, right? You've still got several opportunities to try to bring their things forward. I mean, listen, you end on a 5-7, even a 6-6, that's actually great most of the time for an attacking team in the pro scene on Ascent. So we'll see. If RQ can turn things around here, it's a pretty good half already. But if they do lose out here, the snowball starts to roll, right? Econ hasn't really stabilized for either team just yet. And I think that's what Coach Ewok is looking to stop.
Hey, he always looks a bit concerned, I feel. A lot of the coaches do, and it makes a lot of sense. It's a very stressful job, being a coach. You try to fit everything you want to say in that very small amount of time. Obviously, you have a lot of time during, prior to the match and during scrims and stuff like that, but during the match, you just got to watch and hope that it goes well, essentially. As May has gone back to the operator here. Third time's the charm.
Yeah, we'll see. So far, that, like you said, the value hasn't really delivered. It hasn't transferred to a win whenever you've picked up that operator. A lot of mid-focus trying to clear that Killjoy util, but it's a full stack of utility on that B side to support the operator. And also, I want to say that they're trying to counteract potential for this lockdown here on the B side. Medusa gonna peek out alone, but this is actually a bit more of an aggressive bait and switch here for the operator to be planted, right? Because it's both the Silva and the Killjoy going out, making so much noise for an extended period of time. RQ's gonna want to re-clear this, I feel, but that could be their downfall.
Let's see how many people are gonna peek around this corner. They are absolutely looking to do it, although they might send the drone.
Yeah, you gotta use the drone. I mean, you have no other information elsewhere on the map either.
Or that.
I don't, you're gonna have to use the drone one way or the other.
Well, he takes out the turret, now he's gonna back away. Meanwhile, Anthem just waiting in market. Feeling the pressure, in comes the shorty. Estrella actually gets the kill with the Vandal here, and now the push coming in. May is going to hit that shot on the operator and shut down this push onto B for now, although we do have a couple of members pushing, and we do have double lockdown.
Yeah, and Monyette, he's just going to sacrifice himself, force them to have to stay in the site as well. He gets spotted, trying to stay alive to get detained. Can he find the second one? He thinks it's in sight, but I think May's going to survive this.
Yeah, May is going to buy a lot of time there behind that little
10
wall.
seconds left.
There, the gun comes out once again. Monyet does get onto the site.
5 seconds.
Yeah, they got to plant this one, and that they will. Just barely with 1 second left, and Monyet pushing into them. Going to see the barrel. Takes out the first one with a headshot. He's got a fantastic angle, and that's 4 for the side of Monyet. RRQ push their way onto the B site and make it happen.
So RRQ, the timeout off of it, they go for a pinch play onto B, expecting the operator to come out given the economic situation. But DFM's actually ahead of it, right? The support for the operator, great hold by Anthem initially, over by Market. But at the end of the day, Monyet takes things into his own hand, creates all the space. You know, the old habits of the duelist coming in strong for the controller of RRQ. And now he's going to lead them to another round victory.
Yeah, that was pretty huge, and even though, you know, Monyet puts up a 4K, it was still a very close round, and it keeps this map extremely close. But as you mentioned before, you know, already 4-round wins from the attacker side, and a couple of very strong ones to the side of RRQ. They get the operator out of May's hands once again, and potential now to get some rounds strung in a row here. With the judge for Cess. Okay, also. Okay. Be taken out immediately.
Pinch coming in over by Tree, but the judge, not something they accounted for. Cess just drawing out the aggro, waiting for the trade from his teammates.
And he's able to upgrade to that Vandal, and now Estrella kind of an awkward spot. They're immediately going to throw down the smoke, and this is not going very well for RRQ. DFM are holding this off with flying colors, only losing May so far. So that's going to push a bit forward as RRQ are continuing to just hold here in A main.
Yeah, you do have credits to buy up again, and there's a lot of time, so just fishing to see if you can get some kills.
30 seconds left.
RQ, they would love to have an opportunity to already tie things up at 5, but I feel like at this point, yeah, you're not going to want to force it too hard, right? If they go for the peak, sure, you get the trade, maybe then you go for the plant. But in a 2v4 situation, without much other util to work with, it will just be the save. 2 ults, power ults used in both the No Command and the Hunter's Fury for RQ.
Yeah, not much to show for it. Just May going down. These guys are just going to hang out. Doesn't look like DFM wants to peek into that either. And so will be DFM picking up the round on the save from RRQ. The failed attack does get shut down. So 6-4.
All right, RQ. They do still have all the rifles. Meanwhile, on the side of DFM, some considerations here with May 1 point away from the Blade Storm. But I'd imagine that you're in the lead 6-4. If you lose this one, no matter what you buy, there's a good chance that you may give the opening all the way to 6. So, yeah, you buy up whatever you can. In fact, they'll make it work, juggle things around to make sure that they have full armor and all the guns other than an operator. Perhaps that was part of the consideration.
Now let's see how this push goes for RQ this time. They have been finding success trying to look for B hits and, you know, kind of split pushes through mid as well. A lot of mid pressure working out for them. But now May going to try to peek this. He lives on 5 health. He does live.
Yeah, he will have to back off. You said it. Still have that extra body to work with here for DFM, and it is a jet, so very, very nimble. Can be slippery. We saw May doing a lot of good movement earlier just to do some scouting for his teammates on these trades. Cess waiting. Calls the bluff on Monyet. He's already been hiding. And that's the controller alone on the lurk for RQ. No more smoke. Still 50 seconds. And they have to find something to work with. And maybe now you have to use the timer to your advantage. Try to make sure DFM shows their hand first.
Looks like they do want to push on in towards this B site. Medusa on the back of this one, May as well. Not able to get value though. Jemkin does pick up 2. Anthem only getting Elmimore here, as they will be able to get this plant onto the B side as well.
xFaro trying to get ahead of the rotation. He's already deep in market, but does he realize that there's 2 here? Oh, oh no!
Oh, massive value for xFaro.
xFaro, he wants too much. Okay, I was getting real scared that he was going to wait for too long, but that is the shutdown. Now you know that they're probably grouped up together somewhere here towards the defender spawn.
That is just huge. I mean, DFM, they got to clear out market now as well. I mean, there's so many angles, and they know exactly where Anthem is. They take him down, and RQ picks up a 5th round win on the attacker side of Ascent.
I can't believe, I mean, we've seen moments where you keep your target on your screen and you still wait for too long. And Xfero decides that he's going to keep swinging 90 degrees to see if he can get double value. But either way, he'll make it work. Keeps control of market. Huge play by the Sentinel of our RQ.
Nice.
You can see he's just checking behind. He's like, okay, I got to make sure that I don't get shot in the side of the head while I'm doing this. And also just to make sure he knows exactly how many members there will be pushing through there if he does go down. As now, we do have RQ last round in the half here. It looks like 4 guys in A main. Maybe going for another A hit here. Neth to get the dagger down, but they're already in onto the site. The Jet is at least. And Jemkin able to clear out pretty much every corner on the site. They just waltz on in. It's going to be the retake from DFM.
Yeah, they do have the Blade Storm, so that Marshall going to be put away for now by May. The site was relatively left open, so DFM's meant to go for this retake. Paranoia primed up by Cess. See if they're ready for it, waiting for RQ to waste a lot of that utility first.
They are throwing a bunch of flashes over the top. So May flying, and now Medusa going to get the single onto Xfero. Here comes May looking for it. Immediately gets shot out of the air. LB Moore holding down the site, picks up a 3K. And all of a sudden, it's only up to Medusa. The retake not working out with the bulk of the members. So now Medusa has to clutch this one out. He's not looking the right way, and he gets taken out. LB Moore with the 4K. RQ ties it up. 6 rounds on attack.
Yeah, 6-6. An excellent showing for RQ on the attack, like you said. Of course, bouncing back from the pistol round loss as well. So all things considered, I would say RQ feeling like they have the advantage now going into the second half. But, you know, you look at it the other way, that means we're back to square one. And whoever wins the pistol, they'll have the advantage no matter what, no matter how you cut it. And timeout only being used by RQ to make this catch-up happen. See if DFM chooses to use either of theirs post-halftime.
Yeah, so I guess our analysts, 2 of them going for RQ, having those wins after the timeouts, right? So should be pretty happy at this moment in time.
Yeah,
but
yeah, so far.
It can all change in an instant if DFM call a timeout and then win a round.
And then it's tied. Victoria might get 2 ranks up, oh my.
Yeah, could happen.
Could happen. Now, we look at the live winning percent. This takes into account their record so far on the upcoming half and then combine it with the score line that they currently have. So trying to give you a bit of a better picture of what to expect, but lo and behold, it's pretty much half-half here on Ascent with these 2 teams. And I think that just goes to show how strong DFM's Ascent really is, right? I mean, you're going to the attacking side in the second half, and the AI tells you that you still have a 49%. It's not the AI, by the way. Our writers actually have their own formula to make this work out. I just mean the computer's actually crunching the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to look at the stats and to think about it, but at the end of the day, this map will be unique in its own right, I would guess, from this point in time. As you mentioned, I think the most important thing is who starts off here with a good pistol round. If it is RRQ, which, by the way, they did win the pistol round, the second one in Icebox, but it was both teams winning on attack, actually, for the pistol rounds on Icebox. We did have DFM winning the pistol round here on defense to start off Ascent.
Xfero holding an off angle right past the box. Doesn't quite show his elbow. Both of them should get tagged. Xfero not sure if he was tagged just yet, but Magnet hides in the smoke.
That's going to hide in there, and a massive right click on May. He's just going to be taken out immediately, and Magnet being very annoying here in Hell. They're going to have to clear him out. Xfero pretty low as a lot of targets here, but Magnet gets a second one. Xfero low on health, still able to get one. The Sheriff shots finally ring true, though, for Medusa. And he is going to get huge value there, and that's a 3rd one now to Medusa. Can he make it 4? He's going to spot Elmy Moore, who is the last member left here on RRQ. It has a lot to do, but they're pretty low on health, and the shock dart not going to hit. It does not matter. Net just going to shoot him down, and it's DFM on attack to get another pistol round win.
Yeah, you win both pistols, and you're absolutely in a much better position to try to close this map out. On any map, doesn't matter if it's attacker side or defender side, and it's such a huge advantage when you're playing an MR12 type of system. So DFM feeling very good, taking the lead right back. I thought it was going to get dicey when Magnet bought so much time, but Medusa, crispy, calm with the Sheriff. And even make sure that he dodges that shock dart just a bit, stays ahead of it.
Yeah, that's really the one guy who was able to keep it all together. It was pretty back and forth for the majority of that round. You know, there were trades going either way, but then eventually Medusa steps up with that expensive pistol. Is able to make it work. We do have now DFM, after winning this pistol round, looking to push in through B main, just try clearing all the corners. We do have the smoke to come down now from Monyet.
Yeah, and RQ will make the read. They've pushed out A main, they pushed out mid, so the stack coming through on B just in time. Not gonna all hold close though. Only more the only one just to try to buy some time. Yeah, that's a bit of a very, very valiant effort to take down the drone, but couldn't complete the mission.
Nice try, but yeah, just some bonus points there. Jemkin does get 1 kill, but it's looking pretty good for DFM to follow up with the 8-6. Estrella here with the classic. Do you even poke into this?
I mean, I'm surprised he is, just because it's not like anyone's been chipped.
Planted.
Yeah.
And you made no investment in this round. You might as well go down to the spike.
It looks like he will back out for now, but they might look to root him out.
I mean, I think they probably could afford to maybe, give up one of the weapons. They're trying to consider, do we switch out to the Spectre or not, but they decide, okay. Oh, actually, they're going to go as a group. Well, Estrella probably thinking, thank you very much. Okay.
They're going to go as a group.
This is the correct call, by the way. Because there's just no reason for you to really greed this, because you have everything.